homecoming night here at Dwire Field as the Mason Comets are taking on the Sycamore Aviators in the annual Battle of the Skies. We have a full night of festivities. This should be an exciting contest over the Battle of Mason Montgomery Road. I'm Adam Riddle, joined by my partner for tonight's broadcast, Daniel Panetti. And Daniel, what are you looking forward to in tonight's matchup?
Well, I'm mostly looking forward to see how Mason's going to bounce back from last week. Of course, Dakota West, the scoreboard says we lost 37-7, but honestly, when you watch the game, it doesn't look like they lost that bad. Of course, the scoreboard says that, but going into halftime, it looked like Mason had some momentum. They were down, I think, 16-7. They were getting pressure on the quarterback. They were backing him, and of course, in the second half, they kind of shot themselves in the foot. But it almost feels like a get-right game almost any time after you play a team like Dakota West. It's a get-right game because there's not many teams like Dakota West. But a game like this is something that will help Mason get back on track a lot, I think, and especially these next 2 weeks, it's not easy games. So getting everything back on track is huge for them.
Yeah, and even for the Dakota East, for Sycamore, they took a tough loss against Dakota East, 21-0 last week. And we're going to even touch the Mason with their turnovers. You know, their quarterback got 2 or 3 picks, but also for the Comets, rushing down against Dakota West. He had more interceptions than he did completions. He was 1 for 9 passing with 2 interceptions. One of those was a costly pick six to the Ohio State commit to the Hartford.
Yeah, and I think that's mostly that they ran the ball more because of him coming back from the injury, the bad shoulder injury against Middletown. They're just kind of trying to settle and then get the run game going. Obviously, it didn't work. I think you'll see more passing today, I think. But honestly, where I think Mason is going to get the most today is their run game, obviously. Stopping the run on defense as well, getting pressure to the quarterback. But the run game led by Hibbett is basically what Mason's been doing all season, is establishing that. And I think against a Sycamore defense that's had a bit of trouble stopping the run defense, we saw last week they gave up 300 rushing yards to East. And with a guy like Hibbett who's averaging 5 yards per carry, honestly, feed him all night. I think that's all that Mason needs to do to rack up the scoreboard. And on defense, it really is just get pressure. Yeah, like Sycamore is a pass-heavy offense, and they've given up about 13 sacks this year, 5 to Fairfield, I'm pretty sure, when they played. And if you get a lot of pressure on the quarterback shooter, it's going to be a lot easier for Mason to win.
Yeah, and that's the same thing for Sycamore. You know, right now they only have 1 sack on the season, and Mason, definitely one of their weaker positions is the offensive line, but they have really been stepping up these past few games, protecting Nelson Brown. The last week was a bit of a struggle, but with that, 2 teams looking to bounce back from the week before. So we're going to head to a quick break here from Dwire Field. We'll be back right after this. Please start.
ICRC-TV.com. Always a great day when ICRC is involved in another edition of ICRC, bringing the community to you.
Welcome back to Dwire Field. We've got a key GMT matchup. The 2 rivals, Mason Comets and the Sycamore Aviators, are about to kick off again. My name is Adam Riddle, joined alongside my partner for tonight's broadcast, Daniel Panetti. And it should be an exciting night. There's great atmosphere here at Mason High School. It is homecoming night. Mason Black Hole, the student section, they are showing up in the fire team. Daniel, it's going to be an exciting night.
Yeah, let's not forget the game from last year. It was a shootout towards the end. I think it was 42-40 for Mason. And we might see something like that again tonight.
Yeah, last year was an offensive battle. Sycamore led by William Ingold, the Navy commit, but they lost him. And Seth Truder stepping into his place. They've been having quarterback issues all night, all season long. beautiful. We are about to kick off tonight. We are now underway. A very short kickoff from Sycamore. It's going to be returned by John Kuperberg. The safety for the Comets is only able to push up to the 37-yard line after fielding after the 25. As we see the Canadian Comets have gotten onto the field for the first time. Last week they were only able to put 7 points up on the board in that tough loss against the Dakota Rapids.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this offense is going to respond from the run game. I'm expecting to see, like I said earlier, a lot of weapons for hitters, sailors down the line. I'm not expecting to see a ton of passing, but let's see what Mason is taking.
And I think it's interesting to see if Mason's going to bounce back at this program and see how aggressive they are. Larson Brown's lined up in the shotgun. He's going to take the snap, drop back for the first play of the game, and he finds his receiver, Jack Ryder, for a quick 5-yard pickup.
I get to on the first play.
Yeah, we do call it a little bit of the announcer's thing, but yeah, Sycamore, their secondary has been an issue all year long, and kind of to build Larson Brown's confidence back up, I do think we are going to see some of that passing ball, but also, talked about earlier, Kay Hibbett, the sophomore running back, averaging over 5 yards a carry. He's going to be a key factor for the Comets, and their offense has really evolved throughout the season, and they can just throw you at a lot of different weapons. The offensive line has improved a lot, the receivers have improved a lot, Braden really Jr. stepping in. Should be exciting to watch. Brown takes the snap, he's going to hand it off to Hibbett for his first carry of the night, although he's going to be stuck at the line that time. It is Michael Ward.
Very nice to hold at the line. I didn't exactly catch who it was, but when you're with the defensive end who stops with it there, you don't see a lot of that with a guy like Hibbett. But nice play, and like you mentioned, Braden Greer going in for the receiving yards in the DMC. I'm expecting if Mason does a lot, that's going to be the guy we're going to be hearing the most.
Yeah, it's first tackle combine from Michael Ward. He's a sophomore, 6'3", 155. It's a beautiful frame. Off that defensive end. Coach Ramsey excited about his potential as an aviator. As Brown, under center for the first time tonight. Brings it off to Hibbett yet again. As Hibbett steps up at the line of scrimmage, he's going to push forward for 2 more yards in the 3rd and 1.
Expecting another run, but I was proved on the first play with the pass, so when you do have a guy like Hibbett, I don't see any reason not to run here. Of course, you say those 2 yards when you need it.
Yeah, Sycamore, 9th ranked defense in the DMC. But they struggled again. Gave up over 300 rushing yards against Dakota East last week.
And the averages also don't look good. Giving up almost 170 rushing yards per game is, of course, not something you want to see.
Larson Brown, he's going to take it himself, try to push forward for the first down, and they're going to move the chains. Larson Brown on his first rush tonight picks it up. Very interesting to see. Sycamore, they're only playing 1 safety deep. We both kind of anticipated a lot of rushing, but I think, Coach Kaplan and the entire coaching staff, they're going to try to change things up a little bit and try to tuck the ball a little bit down the field.
Yeah, and if you are Sycamore, you probably should know they're going to try to run the ball. You know your weaknesses, you know your strong points, and Mason, of course, knows that too, so yeah, you know they're going to be trying to run the ball.
It's going to be a jet sweep on the outside. That time, it's going to be Weston Simmons, the safety and running back. And Weston Simmons, he's been a key piece that the Comets have been utilizing a lot, and they're kind of transitioning him into more of a slot receiver. And that's something they're going to try to use as another weapon, something that they haven't thrown out a lot of teams that they've been working at during practice. Simmons is moving position, as you see, only picked up, wasn't able to even pick up a yard there after the 2nd and 10. They near aviator territory at the 48-yard line.
Sycamore's already done a great job at stopping the run. I think he's record.
As Brown takes the snap, he's going to hand it off to Nick Taylor, their power back.
And there's Taylor getting a few.
Chase Terrell that wraps him up with the junior defensive back.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of that from Taylor. You need those few yards, you're going to give it to Taylor. You need that big play, you're going to give it to Hibbett. A great duo of motion that they have in that backfield.
Nice, two-headed monster. We like to call it up here in the broadcast. A lot of weapons we talked about earlier. So 3rd and 3, Comets inside of Aviator territory at the 45-yard line. They can capitalize. They've got Quentin Taylor, the H-back, in that fullback position right now. That's Brown rolling out to his right, trying to find an open receiver. And he's going to convert as he finds Quentin Taylor. And he's going to pick up the first down.
I thought the offensive line there gave him so much time. And able to find the open guy there. It's something that you just got, that some people just take for granted so much, the offensive line on these rollouts.
Yeah, that was a beautiful play design as well. Taylor lined up in that fullback position. He just kind of sneaked his way out up for an open curl route. He gets to about 15 and pick up the first down. And I'm liking this game plan so far from Mason. They've just been kind of gassing Sycamore. No big plays yet. Kind of 5 to 6 yards at the play.
Playing conservative, working well for Mason so far.
That's Brown. Play action pass, rolling to his left, takes a big shot after the throw, but that one's going to be out of the hands of Jack Ryder. It was a beautiful throw by Brown.
Great throw, got hurt right as he threw it, so it was back up.
And Brown, he's been dealing with injuries throughout the entire season. Week 1, he suffered that wrist injury against Savannah Lincoln. Ended up playing, but then later on, he was injured in the Middletown game with a shoulder injury, and then sat out a week. Thomas, especially have their senior leader back.
The guy I'm expecting to do his name a lot of uses on is the two-way player for Sycamore. Not leads, I think he's second in the GMC and so the attacker is with about 64. He's going to be everywhere. He's already been everywhere.
Seems to be a little bit of confusion on the sideline. Coach Castle's not happy. I believe it's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct from the Thomas. They were pushed back 15 yards. Let's see if they got play. So they will give the big call. Will be a 15-yard penalty from the Thomas. They will reset those down.
So many times where plays like that where it can miss every down so much.
So that field position taken away. A very long first and 25 from Mason. Brown throws back. It's going to be a screen pass, but that time almost intercepted by the Aviators. It was the defensive lineman, Michael Johnson.
I'm honestly surprised. I know it's first and 25, but how much Mason has been throwing the ball. Of course, yeah, the field position is not working out for them to run the ball a lot, but I mean, for what they've been doing, it looks pretty good. Brown, so far, he's been hitting on most of his passes, even though it's been mostly incomplete. He's been very accurate so far.
So Larson down, he is in shotgun, 4th and 25, 3 receivers set for the Thomas. Look at this, they're running back behind Brown, and Brown takes a snap. Looking towards the left side of the field, unable to reach Chase Levin, he was picked up.
Down right at the back of the great position.
Sycamore penalty really pushed them back to 3rd and 25. Thomas don't have a lot to work with here. They've got to take a shot down the field. Not in field goal range either.
Wonder any chance they might see a deep ball to Drew here. Of course, Mason's number 1 wide receiver. You need the field position to at least try and get in the field goal range here. First down is about at the 22, so you really need anything you can take right here.
As Brown drops back, it's going to be a shovel pass to Quentin Taylor, but he's going to be dropped down after about a 7-yard gain by a swarm of Aviator defenders. That's going to be 4th down from the Sycamore 41-yard line.
Unexpected kind of shovel pass there. Did work pretty well. They didn't get the first down, of course, but it gives them a lot of field position to work with.
And I do like that play call a lot, but on 3rd and 25, he's got a lot of room to make up. I think if I was Coach Johnson and his staff, I would have held that one in my back pocket for a little bit easier 3rd down territory. That one should be booted away by Sean Krugerberg. Inside the 10 and the 5, and a beautiful punt by Krugerberg. is going to roll out of bounds at the 3-yard line. So Sean Krugerwood, he does everything for the Comets. He plays safety, and sometimes you see him at a slot receiver position, or, arguably one of his best positions, the punting.
And we saw that last week against West as well. He pinned them down at the 1 from what I can remember. The punting position is one of the most boring in football, but when you have yourself a great punter, it really goes a long way. Sycamore coming back on. Try to see if there's going to be a change in what they've been doing. It's been a pass-heavy offense all year, but you have a great running backfield led by Adrian Levins, the junior, and Eugene Harney, the junior. Let's see what Sycamore's going to do here.
It's going to be Seth Shooter at the quarterback position for the Aviators tonight. They've been rotating around the Shooter. He's kind of been their main guy. He's going to hand it off on the first play of the game that time. It's going to be Kimani Dangerfield Montgomery. He'll pick up about 4 yards on the rush.
There's a guy that I forgot to mention. We have all 3 of these guys in the backfield who are going to give you what you need. I think we might see more running this game than we've seen most of the Sycamore.
Yeah, and the 3-headed monster from Sycamore. Both teams have a lot of depth at that running back position. Kimani Dangerfield Montgomery, we talked a little bit about Eugene Harvey. Can't go wrong either way for Sycamore. At that time, the snap's going to be fumbled. However, Schroeder is able to fall on it at the 1-yard line. It's a huge loss for Sycamore. That's going to put them all the way back at their own 1-yard line.
It didn't look like so much of a bad snap. It looked like it was bobbled a little bit. But nice job for Sycamore to just lay on the ball there, not risk anything, especially just close to your end zone where Mason gets the ball, they're basically going to score. So smart play there from Schroeder. See what happens here.
Yeah, and that snap is a sign of a lot of pressure coming from the Mason defensive line. 2 people that come to mind, Aaron Spears and Tammy Adesanya. At that time, it's going to be Kimani Dangerfield Montgomery. He's able to pick up 5 yards.
That's going to be the first play call there. You can't really force the pass there on the 1-yard line. You're running the ball there. He's got the yards you need to kind of give you a little bit of separation here for the punt. But a nice showing from Mason's defense so far, getting pressure. Of course, bad snap kind of really hurt the drive for Sycamore. See if the offense can bounce back from that last drive where, of course, they were looking good, and then we have the 15-yard penalty.
Tucker Jockey in tough position for the Aviators. Quick 3 and out for Sycamore. Definitely not the start they were hoping for. But that one comes off his foot weird. John Krugerwood is going to take it at his Aviator 35-yard line. He's going to take it all the way up to the 12-yard line.
Got that.
So how about from that field position that the Comets are going to start off with? And Coach Castle, he's getting hyped up on the sidelines from the Mason Black Hole student benches. They're loving it as well. A lot of momentum now for Sycamore. For Mason, they've got to take advantage of this.
Yeah, you just mentioned the black hole. That's something that Mason does very well. Their student section, they always bring all the energy that you need for a team like this. Starting here right near the red zone, we're expecting to see a lot of running here. Kind of get the clock down. But who knows? I was proven wrong last drive. We'll see what Mason is coming up with here.
3:42 left in the first quarter. It's going to be a toss play to Tay Hibbett, and Tay Hibbett, he's been contained on his first 3 runs of the night, only able to pick up 1.
Little shaky start for the run game so far. Should hopefully pick up formation, you hope, but Sycamore's defense, they're known for their run defense being where they lack most, and so far, it's still very early in the game, but so far, those look great. Being able to stop Hibbett, who said earlier is averaging almost 5 yards of carry to not even 1.
Browns understanding he's got 2 receivers. That one will be another handoff to Hibbett. Hibbett going to pick up 3 yards, but tackled by Nick Graham, the linebacker. 3rd and 5 now for Thomas. They're at the Aviators 10-yard line. It would really be a shame to see if Thomas is only going to walk away with 3 points after starting their drive at the 15-yard line. Missed opportunity on special teams from Sycamore. That converted into a nice return to Varsity.
Passing has worked so far. Brown, like I said, is going to be great. See what happens here in the second pass 36.
As Brown drops back with a fade into the end zone, but he overthrows Braden Greer. That's his favorite target. That's going to be 4th and 6 for Mason. We'll see what the Comets decide to do. It looks like the special teams unit is going to trot onto the field.
Fortunate running on that drive, Mason not able to get anything, but still on the first drive, they can't move the ball. Not too worried, too early. You just got to get this through, make sure everything goes smooth here.
And those coach-taking duties have been turned over to Colton Bunch. He's a converted soccer player. He also plays on the Mason soccer team. He's been taking the last few weeks for Mason. That one is up. And it is no good for the Comets. That one unsuccessful from Bunch. Sycamore. That was huge, a huge defensive stop from the Aviators. They gave up that amazing field position for Mason, and they just weren't going to be able to convert. We'll take a look at the replay here. Bunch, you know, he had a nice arc on it. That one just went a little bit wide. Bunch frustrated with himself after that one. He knew it was something that he could definitely hit.
Yeah, definitely something he wishes he could add back, but it's defense for Mason. If they can just do what they did last drive, being able to stop Sycamore, I think that they'll be completely fine.
The shooters in the shot, he's got 4 receivers. We mentioned earlier, Sycamore a very pass-heavy offense. First drive, we saw a lot of running. That one's going to be a handoff. Monty's in for good. Montgomery's going to be stuck at the line.
I've seen a lot of Montgomery so far. Nothing much of liking for Monty yet. But Mason, as I was pointing out in the intro, is getting pressure is really how they're going to win right now. And they're doing that, and Sycamore hasn't been able to go anywhere so far.
2nd and 10 for the Aviators now. As Peter's going to drop back, look to his left. He's going to find one of his favorite targets.
Looks beautiful.
Gio Garrett.
Gio Garrett, the number 1 receiver for this Sycamore team, coming in with about 300 yards. What a throw on that outright. That was, you really couldn't put it in a much better place. Just a perfect read from Sycamore.
Peter last game against Dakota East, 50% completion percentage. And Peter, he definitely has that potential. Sometimes accuracy is a bit of an issue, but he does have one heck of an arm. He showed up there. This one, a little bit of a trick play. They're going to hand it off Chase Terrell. They take it to Dangerfield Montgomery. Terrell's going to pick up 5 yards on the run.
Tackled by Jake Bates, second game back from the injury. He's basically the star of this Mason Comet defense. We saw a little bit of a setback from when they do have him and when they don't. He's really just the best player on this defense. Having him back is huge for Mason.
When you talk about how he's the star of this Mason defense, I would even argue he's the star of this Mason football team. When you think Mason football, you think Sycamore, or you think Jake Bates. That one's going to be handed off to Kimani Montgomery. He's going to push forward for 12 yards. That's going to be a first down. Weston Simmons with the tackle.
He's been running with a ton of aggression so far, making the quick cut. He's not really waiting. He's just hitting right exactly where he needs to go, and that's going to be a first down for Sycamore.
You know, Jason Montgomery showing off his breakaway speed there. Lucky that Simmons was there as an extra layer of protection. Well, you know, James Montgomery, that would have been a touchdown.
Yeah, he really had a bunch of space there.
Shooter going to hand that one up to Montgomery again. The Angels don't fix it. He's going to plow forward for 3 yards.
Seems like everything I've been saying has been getting proven wrong. It's their pass-heavy offense, and so far it's been predominantly running for Sycamore, but it's been working. They're starting to flip the field. They start pretty far back in their part of the field and being able to make a drive so far.
And with that, it's going to be our first time out of the game. We're going to head to a quick break. as we're tied end of the first quarter. We're going to head to a quick break. Mason Comets and Sycamore Aviators 0-0.
On air or online, this is media for your community. This is ICRC-TV.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
And welcome back to Dwire Field at Mason High School. The Mason Comets, Sycamore Aviators tied at 0-0 after the first quarter. Mason had the momentum early on offense. They had that nice punt return all the way up to the 15-yard line, but they were not able to convert. Sycamore starting to gain it as they're charging into Mason side of the field. As that one going to be handed off to Cumani, Dangerfield, Montgomery. He's going to be stuffed behind the line for a 2-yard loss.
This is a huge drive so far for Sycamore. Being able to get on the board first would be something that Sycamore really, really need, especially with an offense who hasn't been able to find their strides a lot this season. Being able to score first is a huge momentum shifter and something that Sycamore is really going to need.
So a 3rd and 9. We saw that big pass to Gio Garrett earlier on in the drive. I think Seth Truder might be looking his favorite target here on 3rd and long as he's dropped back in the shotgun. 2 receivers, 1 in motion. As Truder looking towards the right side of the field, and he is going to find Jared Turner for the first down.
Got hit as he threw, and it was still super accurate. So far from Truder, it's been nothing but great. Looking at this replay, 44 coming off the side, just barely got that off. And you know, that's a play that when you're a quarterback, you look back and you're like, yeah, that's something that if you have a quarterback who can do that, you'll be set for a while.
2 receivers on the left side now. Unique formation as Truder's going to throw the screen pass on the outside to Adrian Larkins. A big pickup for 7 yards. However, there is a flag in the backfield, likely to be a hold on the Aviators.
There is a flag on the field.
Second flag we've seen all game. First, the unsportsmanlike on Mason. First one on Sycamore, at least as we think for now.
And it is going to be a hold on the Aviators, pushing them back. That was a big gain from Eugene Harvey that's going to be pushed back.
It's the first time we've seen Harney. Mostly it's been Montgomery in the backfield, and you know, that's what we talk about. He's such a big name in this backfield. First carry that he gets, he takes for what would have been a first down, but gets taken back from the holding.
4 receivers set now for Sycamore as they're pushed back for a 1st and 18 as Truder drops back. That one overthrown in and out of the hands of Zach Rogers, the senior cornerback, and that one was almost an interception. Daniel, I think he was more worried about the return than actually picking that ball off as it just dropped right through his hands.
Yeah, not the best throw from Truder, and it almost went right. Yeah, you said it was right in his hands, just not able to reel it in. That's a huge break for Sycamore because he would have had a lot of room as well. He would have flipped the field, given Mason a very good momentum boost, and see if Sycamore can capitalize off Mason's missed opportunity.
2nd and 18 now as Truder drops back. As he's looking for his tight end down the field. That one's going to be tipped at the line of scrimmage.
Looks like he's looking for a penalty.
That one was intended to Dylan Dye, and he's throwing his arms up looking for a flag. That looked clean to me as that ball was batted at the line of scrimmage.
We've seen Truder be very aggressive so far in the pass game. I think Sycamore, from what I've seen, they're really trying to throw Mason off. Mason knowing the run or the pass heavy, and Sycamore running the ball a lot. But so far, these past few plays, we've been seeing a lot of passing, and mostly it's been working. We had the missed interception, and then that which it could go either way.
TriStateFootball.com is the Tri-State's only website dedicated to covering local high school football year-round.
The officials
Keep up with tonight's action
come together discussing, you know, Coach Kastner of the Comets and Coach Greg Ramsey of Sycamore, both awaiting the call. And they're just going to set the ball back down like we thought. 3rd down and 18 now for the Aviators. As Truder, he's got to let that arm loose, try to find one of his receivers downfield. It's a very long 3rd down.
Looks like some confusion for Sycamore right now.
Play clock winding down under 10 seconds. Is that one going to be handed off down the middle? It is Dangerfield Montgomery. He has a nice gain of 7 yards, but it's not going to be enough for the 1st down, as it will be 4th and 12 from the Comet 34-yard line. It looks like Sycamore, they're going to stay on the field.
Really?
Not in field goal range.
You need to be aggressive if you're Sycamore. This is a game where you can't give Mason too many chances because they'll capitalize on most of them. So on 4th and 12, not sure exactly why, but who knows, maybe Sycamore has something cooking up here.
Drew Datillo in motion as Seth Truder feeling a lot of pressure from Jake Bates. That one intended for his target, but it's going to be dropped incomplete. Nick Saylor's with the coverage on that one, as it will be a turnover on downs from the Aviators, a big stop from the Comets.
Great coverage from Mason right there. Even if he did get it, he would not have gotten the first down, but still great play to just not even let him catch it, and Mason's going to take over here around the 20 or 30-yard line. See if a pretty unfortunate drive last time, see if they can come back and look more like they did on the first drive where they're putting something together.
Brown's under center. It's going to be Braden Greer in motion. That one handed off to Hibbett. He hasn't gotten much started today. As that time, he's going to pick up 4 yards, and surprisingly enough, that's one of his best carries of the night, you know, only 5 yards.
Yeah, Sycamore really came prepared for this run game. Hibbett not getting so much right now that, you know, we expected from Mason. We expected a very run heavy, which, you know, we are kind of seeing, but it's just not working. Sycamore being able to generate pressure up front and not let Hibbett get to the sides and break away free.
Brown under center again with Greer in motion. Fake handoff to Hibbett as Brown on the play action. A long throw to Greer, but that one going to be thrown out of bounds a little bit over the head of the junior wide receiver.
Feels like each time we're getting a play action, it seems like Sycamore has one free rusher, especially on that last play. Brown looked like more of a forced throw. He had probably only a second left before there was a defender right on him.
So 3rd and 5 now for the Comets as they near Sycamore territory. They're at the 39-yard line. You know, other than that first drive, they haven't been able to get much going on offensively. But Larson Brown and his squad looking to change that here. Brown takes the snap. Looking towards the left side of the field. He's feeling the heat after a long time in the pocket, but that one going to be thrown to Jack Ryder. He took a big hit, but he held on to the ball. I believe it's going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct hit from Sycamore, Ron Matthew.
How about that?
Yeah, potentially helmet-to-helmet contact.
How about that play from Larson Brown there, being able to escape the pressure and throw on the run. Beautiful pass, just a great play. We've seen so much from Brown today that's just so promising for Mason.
And we see him roll away. Took a big hit, but finds Jack Ryder, who makes the big catch.
He put that right in the spot that Ryder needed as well. Just seen so much good from Brown today.
And, you know, kind of an NFL-style player that I like to compare Jack Ryder to is T. Higgins on the Bengals. And T. Higgins, he can make some unbelievable catches. Last year, he struggled a lot with, you know, inconsistently dropping passes. But, you know, he's always going to make those big plays, as Jack Ryder made that one right there. And as the officials came together, they called a targeting call
15 yards will be tacked on to the spectacular catch.
Sycamore. As 15 more yards going to be added to the end of that play. So a big play from the Comets made even bigger.
Being able to really just reverse the field there. Went from what felt like their own 30 to Sycamore's 30. See if hopefully you can change from what happened last drive where you got the ball in great position and you had the momentum, but you just couldn't capitalize. The way Brown's been playing, I honestly think Mason is going to be completely fine this drive.
Flag thrown before the snap. It's going to be an offsides on Sycamore.
Whistle and a flag.
As one of the Aviators got a little bit too antsy. So again, the Comets continuing to trot downfield. That one going to be off a penalty for a 1st and 5. Now they're inside the Sycamore red zone.
Gotta take anything you can get. If Sycamore's gonna shoot themselves in the foot with these pre-snap penalties, you have to take advantage of it.
So Brown's in the shotgun. Quentin Kaler in motion. As he's going to hand it off to Nick Sailors. Nick Sailors has a wide open hole as he's going to be dragged down by the face mask. Very dangerous play as the officials were quick to throw that one out. And Sailors, he had a wide open hole. If he hadn't been taken out with that face mask, it was just him and one Sycamore defender. We'll take a look at the replay here as a very dangerous play.
3 plays, 3 flags for Sycamore. That's something that you just can't be having. We see this all the time with teams really shooting themselves in the foot with these penalties. And you know, Sycamore was looking great. This is the first drive where we've seen all these penalties, and look where they're at now. Mason in the red zone looking to score here.
And with that face mask penalty, the Comets, they're going to be pushed all the way up to the Sycamore 8-yard line, so even better position. As Brown, he has a man in motion. It is Braden Greer. That one going to be a handoff to Tay Hibbett. As Hibbett drops the ball, I believe he fell on top of it. Michael Johnson going to knock that one away for Sycamore. Very dangerous play inside of Sycamore red zone.
See this replay, really see what happened here.
And again, a beautiful strip from Michael Johnson, the senior defensive lineman. And we're going to take a look at Coach Kastner, kind of giving an earful to his young buck running back. You know, those plays cannot happen in the red zone.
Well, you do have the fumble. Great play by Hibbett to get back on the ball there, keep this drive for Mason going.
That's going to be a handoff to Nick Sailors. As Sailors is going to be stopped only after a 1-yard gain.
Big 3rd down. You're going to wonder if they're going to keep in Sailors here. This seems to be where he is best, right on the goal line.
And Sailors, he is more of that power goal line back. As him and Quentin Kaler, they have been more of the Comets, you know, their big red zone targets throughout the year, as we see number 2 on the right side of your screen. So 2 receivers on the left side, heavy set for Mason. That one going to be a handoff to Sailors. Sailors chugging his feet, and he will dive in for a Mason touchdown. The first points of the night by the Comets. As Nick Sailors puts on 6.
That's where we expected to see most of these scoring off of the run. We know that Nick Sailors, he's big in the goal line, and it shows right there, being able to just push forward. Honestly, doesn't even matter how many defenders you put, he's still going to push for those extra yards, and there gets 6.
And a nice hole opened up by the Comet offensive line. So all Sailors had to do was just lower a shoulder and fight his way in as Colson Bunch with the extra point attempt, as it is good. So 7-0, the Comet lead. We've got 6 minutes and 44 seconds left in the second quarter, but Daniel, great bounce back drive from the Comets after they were unsuccessful in their red zone attempt.
Yeah, these first 3 drives, it's almost been completely different. You have the first drive where they're going down the field, being able to sustain a long drive, but stopped in the red zone. You're getting the ball in great position on the second drive after a great showing by your defense, and getting stopped in the red zone. Here they're able to switch that up and able to score here. You know, you can't score in the red zone, you're not really going to be able to score. So being able to see Mason bounce back like that is very big for this team.
And we talked about it earlier, Sycamore, only the 9th ranked defense in the GMC, so the Comets, they needed to exploit that a little bit more tonight. Had a little bit of a slow start, but they've got the momentum after that Nick Saylor's touchdown as their special teams unit trotting onto the field. Colson Bunch looking to boot it away for the Comets.
And looking at these stats, it said that Sycamore and Mason is very identical on their offense, where the big mismatch is their defense. Sycamore ranked number 9th in defense, and Mason was ranked number 1 before the Lakota West game, now 2nd. And, we've seen it so far with, of course, that first drive where Mason just completely stopped them.
Squib kick from Mason, recovered by Sycamore. That one, Nate Malone, but it will be whistled dead after the fair catch. So Sycamore going to start off their drive at their own 30-yard line.
See if they're going to keep going with the passing attack. It's been working so far. Schroeder has looked very good so far. He has a few struggled games, but as of right now, he's looking like the best version of a quarterback that you can really be asking for right now.
Yeah, and Sycamore, they've had a lot of issues at that quarterback positions. They started off the year kind of rotating Levi Simpson and Trey Meadows, but the past few games, Seth Schroeder, he stepped in, and he's been making an impact for the Aviators, especially tonight. As Schroeder in the shotgun, fake handoff. It's going to be a screen pass, a little bit of a fake play, and wide open down the field is Gio Garrett, as he's going to take that one all the way to the house on the fake
no flags.
Play. No flags down as it will stand, and the Sycamore sideline is going crazy. And
How about that?
Yeah, that's going to be an unbelievable pass from Adrian Larkins. Normally their running back.
What a throw as well.
And we'll take a look at the replay here. We see the bubble screen to Adrian Larkins, and Larkins throws an absolute dime down the field, finds a wide open Gio Garrett. Completely caught the Comets off guard. And how about a momentum shift?
Yeah, really. Just one play drive, that's all that they needed. And you love the creative play calling there from Sycamore, and Mason, it looked like had all the momentum, and Sycamore just bounces back that quickly. Just shows that even though the statistics are very against Sycamore, this is still a very good team.
And one last look at the trick play, touchdown pass to Gio Garrett. He's been Seth Schroeder's favorite target this year, but why can't he be Adrian Larkin's favorite target, the running back?
Yeah, you have a guy like that who, a true number 1 guy you can depend on all the time, and he is wide open. It's something you'll see in the NFL a lot, like the Bengals in the Super Bowl. You have Mixon throwing Higgins for the touchdown. It seems like every time you have a running back who can throw a ball like that, it's going to work, and it works right there for Sycamore.
So a one-play drive for Sycamore, a 70-yard touchdown pass from the running back. And talk about a quick momentum shift. Mason kind of playing more of that conservative, kind of just run it down your throat, gash you and wear you down. Sycamore, the big play.
And especially scoring there, you're going to be getting the ball, Sycamore. You're going to be getting the ball to start the second half. I feel like Mason is going to try to get this clock down as low as they can to try to, of course, chew down the clock, because getting the ball in the second half, scoring right before halftime is, when you can do that, that's how most games are going to shift. So see if Mason's offense can really do what they did last drive, get a nice sustainable drive together.
This one going to be returned by J.C. Deaton, the cornerback, but he's going to be stopped at the 27-yard line after a 25-yard gain. So Larson Brown and his team will trot back on the field, looking to have a very similar drive to what they did last time.
And well enough time left, 6 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock here for Mason. Look to see if they really are going to try to keep going with this passing game, or try and really set up this run game that hasn't worked so much lately.
The sun's starting to go down here at Dwire Field. Dwire Field, known as one of the most iconic sunset locations in Mason. But you know what that means? That means the lights are coming on. Friday night lights are official. That's Brown in the shotgun. 3 receiver set. So he will take the snap. Look to his right, a quick pass to Ryder, as he's going to pick up 7 yards on the nice quick pass and catch.
Nice play there by Mason, had the separation. Ryder able to catch. We'll see this replay. Perfect throw. Can't really get much better than that.
Exactly, boom, that's all you need. Just 6-7 yards every play, and that's what the Comets have been doing tonight.
Yeah, and although Sycamore did it, you don't need to have those big plays all the time. It's always fun to be watching those 60-yard touchdowns, those trick plays, but being able to put a drive together is almost even more important than that.
That one going to be handed off to Hibbett as he's going to be stuffed right at the line. And Hibbett, he hasn't been able to get much going tonight. Sailor's kind of been the only successful back for the Comets.
It's not what we see much from Hibbett. Hibbett 6th in the GMC in rushing yards with about 560. And, you know, you wonder at half they're going to try to, of course, you have to adapt. You have to switch what's going on. It's a tie game so far. There's obviously holes that you need to fill, of course, starting with this run game. But the passing game so far for Mason has been very well.
Brown under center. Heavy set towards the right. Nobody on the left side of the field. Sailors is going to take it very close. I believe they're going to give him the first down, and they will. So Nick Sailors with a 2-yard rush. And that's going to give the Comets a nice, you know, relief.
5 minutes, 15 seconds and counting for Mason. Being able to chew this clock down as much as they can is most likely the goal for the drive. Get in the field goal range, get some points, go into this half with the lead, because, as I said, you're not getting the ball back at half. And halftime, of course, going into the second half is when most games change, especially if you're getting the ball in the second half and you have the game close, it's something huge for your team.
That one going to be a handoff to Sailors. Sailors picks up 5 yards on the carry. That one is going to be taken down by Dylan Dye, playing both ways for the Aviators.
There's a lot of two-way players for Sycamore's defense. We mentioned Harney with second in the GMC, of course, with in the tackles. But another guy you want to look out for is the defensive back, Jackson Nieblack, number 11, who super athletic. He's always all over the field. Is somebody Mason circles on this defense.
Brown looking for Ryder on the pass attempt, but it is going to be incomplete. And Brown, we've been seeing a lot of those quick pass attempts tonight. It's been to Ryder. And Comets, they kind of like to change up who their wide receiver one is for the game. Like to keep, you know, different defenses on their toes. You know, you watch film for one game. And, you know, in preparation for the Comets, you know, it'll be Braden Greer, who will be taking most of the targets. But tonight, you know, it's been Jack Ryder. And Jack Ryder, we've seen him show off his skills earlier on in the season.
And he's been delivering as well. Every time he gets the ball, it seems like it's for something big. Whether it's 8 yards or 20, it's anything there will do.
Brown drops back, took a big hit. That time he was looking for Nick Sailors. But Nate Malone bringing the pressure, the senior linebacker.
Just got the ball out before a sack. That could have been very bad for Mason. The blind side has no idea. Almost a fumble.
And Comets taking a look. Looks like they were going to take a big decision. As they waited till the last second to put their punt unit on the field. So Sean Krugerberg trucks back to punt. Only 13 seconds left on the play clock. Chase Terrell deep for Sycamore.
Very unfortunate ending on that drive for Mason, but one thing to look at, you got a lot of time off the clock. There's 2 minutes left. Of course, if Sycamore gets that one-play touchdown again, there's really nothing you can do about it clock-wise, but only giving them 2 minutes to really do something like that, almost forcing them to, and now you know something like that might be coming. So especially with the punting that you've been getting from Mason so far. We saw getting pinned down around the 3-yard line. If you can do something like that, then you should be set for the half. But we'll see what Sycamore, if they have any more tricks up their sleeve like we saw last drive.
Sycamore, they did call their first timeout of the half with 3:59 left in the second quarter. Sean Krugerberg trotting back to punt. Sycamore, kind of like us up in the booth, unsure what the Comets were going to decide to do on 4th down, but the punt return unit, or the punt off unit is on. Sean Krugerberg, he's going to hold it for a while, and it's wide open, nobody near him. As Krugerberg picks up 20, 30, breaks the tackle, and he's going to be pushed away out of bounds at the 15-yard line. So I don't even know if that was a true planned punt. Comets, they were just kind of looking to see, if Sycamore was bringing the pressure. If they were just going to punt it away. We've
seen calls like this from Castner these past few weeks as well. I was honestly thinking before this, 4th and 4, this is your best time to do a fake like this, and you have all of that room. And it's great having an athlete as your punter where he's able to get all those yards. And going from a 4th down in the 50 to being in the red zone here, it's huge for Mason, especially going into halftime.
And that kind of brought a second life here in the stands. The Black Hole, they were rolling after that play. The Mason stands going crazy. I mean, we have a packed house here at Dwire Field on the Mason side. Again, it is homecoming night, a lot of festivities, and this is always a big showing for Comet fans as the Battle of the Skies. Brown takes the handoff. He's going to give it to Sailors. Sailors takes a big hit, but he's going to spin out of it. And Nick Sailors, a powerful run. He's going to pick up about 8 yards on the carry.
The way to just shake off that run right there. It gets hit, just spins out of it and keeps going. Something, you have a power back like Sailors. You're expecting something like that, and beautiful there. Correction with the clock, 3 minutes left, not 1.
So 2nd and 3 after the 7-yard pickup from Nick Sailors. He's going to stay in the game. And the Comets, a little bit of a miscommunication, but Larson Brown's going to take it himself. That time he's going to be taken down by Trey Meadows.
A lot of miscommunication there. We see Brown turn towards his left to hand off, but running back wins right. But
we'll look at the replay here. As Larson Brown a little confused where he doesn't find his running back, but great awareness as he takes it himself and almost picks up the first down.
Yeah, he said most quarterbacks are going to panic in a situation like that, but Brown being able to, be like, all right, that didn't work, just got to get whatever you can out of it, and he did, able to pick up a lot. Sets up well for 3rd and 1.
Safe to say we might see a QB sneak here, and we will. Larson Brown going to be pushed forward, and I'm not sure if he got enough there, going to give him the first down.
Sycamore saw it coming, you could definitely tell. We've already seen the sneak before from Mason, and it worked once, and it works again.
So 1st and goal now from the Aviators' 6-yard line. Clock stopped. Clock rolling at about 2 minutes. Officials waving their hands. So 1:57 left on the clock. It's the head official for tonight's contest walking towards Coach Kastner, trying to clear something up.
And here's exactly, you're in a perfect situation to just run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. Even if it's not working, you don't want to give Sycamore any time to even try a trick play like that, because we saw even 30 seconds can be too much. So being able to chew clock here and just get any points out of it, of course you're going to want 6, but even 3 you'll be somewhat happy with.
So they're going to reset the clock to 2 minutes and 10 seconds. It's now ticking. Zach Adelta in motion for Mason. Handoff to Sailors. Flag thrown aggressively. But Sailors only going to be able to pick up about 2 yards. That could all be walking back, though. And that one going to be on the defense. They're going to call a face mask on Sycamore, so a lucky break for the Comets.
More and more costly penalties for Sycamore. It's going to be an automatic first down as well. Here's Sycamore going into half. That's got to be the first place that you need to touch. These penalties, it's so easy to have all of these, and looking at the game after, the difference of having 5 penalties and having 1 can really just change the game. So hope in the second half that Sycamore is able to fix these, and we'll see 1st and goal here for Mason once again.
Comets at the 3-yard line now. 1st and goal. Brown under center. Is that one going to be a handoff to Sailors? Sailors extends. Will wait the call, but it will be a Mason touchdown. So Nick Sailors, his 2nd touchdown of the night. That's going to be a 3-yard touchdown run as she dives across the goal line.
So far, a homecoming game to remember for Sailors. 2 touchdowns, as you said. That's his 2nd one of the game. Great job on this drive from Mason to be able to score.
Coach Kastner pumping up his squad. They've been playing, Nick Sailors has been playing great offensively. As the Sycamore jumped off sides.
Makes it anyway.
Colson Bunch did make the extra point attempt. We'll see if they give it to him.
Nice way to bounce back for Bunch as well. You missed a field goal, but you nailed those 2 extra points. Are they going to redo it?
And so they're going to walk forward. They're going to blow the whistle dead before Bunch kicked it. So that penalty didn't even turn out too bad for Sycamore. Now they're going to force Bunch to re-kick the extra point. That one is through the uprights. So 14-7. Now the score. The Comets defeating the Aviators. It's Nick Sailors we see here. We're going to take another quick replay at this touchdown run by Nick Sailors. He dives across the plane, extends, uses his full body, and an amazing touchdown run.
Great job
by
from
Sailors.
the offensive line. Just able to throw those defenders around, give an easy lane for Sailors to score there. Just overall, great drive from Mason. Something that is great to go into the locker room with. Whoever goes in with this momentum is really who is most likely going to be taking it. It's a closer game than some may expect, and you know, there's still a minute 40. We saw last drive. Didn't take long for Sycamore to respond. See if they can do something like that again.
Comet lead extended to 7 now. A minute 42 left on the clock in the 1st half. As the crowd starting to get pumped up the sidelines. You can see the Comets jumping around. As Bunch boots that one away. Oh, it's going to go out of bounds. So Daniel, we talked about Sycamore. They have that big playability, and now they're going to have great field position starting at the 35-yard line.
Well, we've seen today the quarterback Seth Schroeder, who's been on so far. Hopefully he can put a good drive together, and the way he's playing, it's not going to be an easy drive for Mason. He's been very aggressive so far, we've seen today, and see what Sycamore has ready. Wonder if they have another trick play, even though if you're Mason, you got to be ready for another one of those.
So Schroeder in the shotgun. He's only got one receiver in. There's another one of those trickery handoffs. That time, plowing through. It's going to be Chase Terrell. So a nice gain there from the defensive back and running back. He kind of plays both ways. So a minute 30 now left on the clock. Only picks up 9 on the play. Not enough for a first down, but very close that time. It's going to be Cumani Dangerfield Montgomery as he's going to push forward for about 2 yards, and that's enough to move the chains.
Minute and 25 and counting right now, being able to get this run game going a little bit, but you're running down on time to be running the ball a lot. See them hurrying up to the football.
5 receivers now in for Sycamore. Schroeder alone in the backfield. Drops back, looking towards his right. Finds a wide open Aviator. That's going to be Drew Datillo. As after the 2-yard pickup, he's going to go out of bounds.
And already Sycamore approaching midfield, being able to put something together right now. See if they can finish here, but Mason's defense, you don't see them giving up a ton of yards. Got to wonder if, in halftime you could figure out how to basically eliminate that.
Truder drops back, looking towards the middle of the field. He's going to find his target. That time, Gio Garrett for the first down, and Gio Garrett, he had that long 70-yard touchdown pass earlier, or touchdown reception.
It's a tight hole to throw it into there, but great job on the slant. Threw it right where you needed it. It's going to be first down for Sycamore.
So 1st and 10 from the 41.
Clock just now tips below a minute.
The Aves in Comet territory. They're looking to get some points on the board before halftime. Schroeder alone in the backfield again, 5 receivers. As a whistle is blown, flag on the field. It's going to be a false start from the Aviators. 1st and 15, that's going to back them up.
Seen a little bit of confusion so far for Sycamore's offense. A lot of looking towards the sideline, kind of figuring out what exactly to do.
And again, that one could be some early movement from Craig Hawley, the 6'5", 225-pound junior. Definitely one of the bigger pieces of this offensive line for Sycamore. Truder drops back, looking towards the middle of the field. He's looking for Gio Garrett, and I believe there's going to be pass interference. That one pretty obvious from J.C. Deaton as he pushed Garrett down.
He had him as well. Looked like Garrett had a lot of separation toward the end zone. Not a lot, but enough.
And you know, that's
for a receiver.
That's one of those, I shouldn't say good penalties, because penalties are never good, but that would have been a touchdown if it weren't for that last second push by J.C. Deaton. If you're Coach Kastner, can't be too frustrated with that one, but definitely don't want to let Garrett get out of your reach. He has that big playability.
So 23 seconds left. You're approaching the red zone. Still have your timeouts left. You have 2 left for Sycamore. Mason still has all 3.
23 seconds on the clock. Aves at the Comet 31-yard line. That penalty going to stop the clock.
And just being able to get 3 on this drive where you started very back.
So Truder drops back, looking for a quick pass on the right side of the field. He's going to find Drew Datillo. Datillo, he's been, Truder's quick option tonight. Not his first read, but, nice, easy 5-yard gain there.
And as I was saying, getting at least 3 on this drive is going to be huge for Sycamore. Going in, it'll be a 1-possession game regardless. Being able, if you're able to take a score on your opening drive in the second half.
18 seconds on the clock. Truder looking to throw a fade downfield, but great coverage by J.C. Deaton. That time he's not going to let Gio Garrett get behind him.
Kind of redeems himself there. There was really nothing that Garrett could do, even if it was one of the best throws in the world that you could have. Just perfect coverage from Deaton.
Great job by Deaton, making sure to turn around, look at the ball, and not have his hands all over Garrett. And that is flawless coverage from the senior. He missed some time early on in the season, but Comet's glad to have him back. He brings some speed to this defense.
Got time for about 3 more plays if you can.
So Truder drops back, looking for a screen pass. There is a flag down. That one going to be dropped off to the tight end, Dylan Dye. He picks up the first down, but I believe it is going to be a hold on Sycamore. And yes, the official motions backwards. So 7 seconds on the clock. That's going to push them back at least 10 yards.
That could be a drive killer right there. We've talked about these penalties. Offense and defense have almost every drive that Mason has scored. It feels like they got stopped, but they're able to score because of some penalty that the Sycamore has that really could have been prevented. We've seen the unnecessary roughness and then the face mask last drive, which really helped Mason get back.
So the Comets, very weird set. They have 4 defensive backs playing at the 5-yard line deep into the end zone. It's going to be Sean Krukeberg, J.C. Deaton, Nick Sailors.
I think if I'm Sycamore, you might have to do your best shot right now is a quick outside guy at the bottom, 13 for Sycamore. Nobody was on him. You have 7 seconds. That's definitely enough time to have an out route towards the sideline, being able to get your kicker a lot easier of a field goal.
Yeah, that would be Jared Turner, and Very weird defensive setup by Comets, but they're in contain mode. They do not want to allow Sycamore to score a touchdown, and they're willing to risk, you know, putting them in field goal range. However, 7 seconds on the field, I mean,
Yeah, your job here is just don't allow 6. They're already kind of not exactly, but almost in field goal range as it is. You're Mason and your defense. You give up 3, it's not the end of the world. You're still up by 4 going into half. But just your main goal here, just don't allow 6.
cold night here at Dwire Field. 50 degrees, but that only drop it down.
When in Mason, not the same look. Nobody at the 5-yard line this time.
The Comets, they do have their safeties playing very deep in contain mode. 4 rushmen as Truder drops back, looking towards the middle of the field, but he's going to be contained early. Clock winding down at 3 seconds. Sycamore's going to call their last timeout.
And there's that quick pass you have there. It makes it field goal a lot easier, while it's still not an easy field goal by any means, but getting those 8 or 9 is huge there.
So as Sycamore calls it, or timeout, their last timeout, the field goal unit's going to trot onto the field. Ball is at the 31-yard line. So it'd be a 48-yard field goal. Very long, especially in high school.
It's a chance to really prove yourself as a kicker.
Sycamore, they're already ready to attempt the PAT. Again, a very long 48-yard attempt now for Sycamore. And if I'm the Comets, I might even put, you know, somebody back, try to return it a little bit, potentially have a little bit of a kick 6 action, Daniel.
We see, first thing that comes to mind is the Alabama-Auburn game a few years ago. Very possible, but doesn't look like we're going to see something like that.
So Tucker Groppe,
We get another timeout.
he's the #1 man, taking field goal duties for Sycamore, as Coach Castor's going to try to ice Groppe, getting his head a little bit with 3 seconds left on the clock.
Just giving him more time as a kicker. So could either ease or build up those nerves. But long field goal going into half, something you need for Sycamore.
Yeah, and definitely. This hasn't been the game the Comets that we're envisioning. You know, their homecoming night, big rivalry, packed home crowd, but they're staying in this. 14-7, they have the lead as Sycamore trying to cut it, the Comet lead down to 4. Groppe attempting the 48-yard field goal.
Good snap.
Will it have enough leg? And it does. So what a field goal from Tucker Groppe, 48 yards. And that has the Sycamore sideline pumped up heading into halftime. The Mason Comets defeating Sycamore 14-10, but we've still got 24 minutes left to play. So make sure you stay tuned here on ICRC-TV as the Mason Comets currently lead Sycamore Aviators.
Observe a domesticated human family in their natural habitat, known to their species as the backyard.
Hey, you think I should light it now? Yeah?
Oh dear, someone is about to burn a pile of debris that's too tall, which can start a wildfire. Wait, could it be? Blimey, it is.
It's Smokey.
It's Smokey Bear. What a legend.
Hey, it's Smokey. Sorry, it was too high. Right.
Watch as he astutely ensures that there's no wind, and how he removes some of the debris to create a smaller, safer burning pile.
No, you
me to
said,
make it big.
no, you said make it bigger, baby. The bigger, the better.
Take note of our fearless furry friend here, humans.
I appreciate it. Fist bump.
Watching you.
Smokey's done it again.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Spending time outdoors has never felt more valuable. Whether it's exploring nature or relaxing in your yard, let's do it responsibly. Before going out, check for closures and fire restrictions. Practice social distancing, even when outside and on the trail. Back at home, if burning yard debris, keep your pile small. And no matter where you are, be sure to properly extinguish any outdoor fire. Drown, stir, drown, feel. We're all in this together. Help keep our safe places safe.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to ICRC-TV Sports. Three-pointer. Got it! In for the Comets score. Win! The Comets win! Yeah!
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Play Eric Amarola's Race Day Mix.
You made your house a reality. Homeschooling yourself on loans, color-coding listings, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. If you can ace house hunting, you can do it for retirement. Get on track with tips at aceyourretirement.org.
Always a great day when ICRC is involved.
Another edition of ICRC, bringing the community to you.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
On air or online. This is media for your community. This is ICRC-TV.
There's no better feeling than to be a part of a fire department. This is a family.
Police officer, it's a great job. It really is. You never know what you're going to get. You never know who you're going to help.
We're forgetting what's going on outside. We're focusing on what's going on in here, and we're all family.
This idea of a family academy, connecting families to talk about relevant issues.
Unbelievable. Milford has stormed all the way back in this football game. The Warriors in the state finals! State finals! Ohio Wesleyan, here we go!
And it's up to every one of you all to keep this going and carry the torch. I hope you will do that. Thank you.
ICRC-TV.
Leaves us with the next item on our agenda is item number 5, opening session.
I want to thank everyone for joining us this evening. If you're out here at the parade or listening, thank you again.
Into the end zone, and that is caught by Jaden Wood.
Come on now, how we doing? Y'all feeling all right out there?
Hello and welcome to this edition of This is Glendale. I'm Bet Chorus.
Hey guys, this is the Unit 1 crew from One Log Fire Department. We just want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And of course, you can always go to ICRC-TV.com.
Always a great day when ICRC is involved. Another edition of ICRC, bringing the community to you.
On air or online. This is media for your community. This is ICRC-TV.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Observe a domesticated human family in their natural habitat, known to their species as the backyard.
Hey, you think I should light it now?
I think it's good.
Yeah?
Oh dear, someone is about to burn a pile of debris that's too tall, which can start a wildfire. Blimey, it is.
It's Smokey.
It's Smokey Bear. What a legend.
Hey, it's Smokey. Sorry, it was too high. Right.
Watch as he astutely ensures that there's no wind and how he removes some of the debris to create a smaller, safer burning pile.
No, you said make it bigger, baby. The bigger, the better.
Take note of our fearless furry friend here, humans.
I appreciate it. Fist bump.
Watching you.
Smokey's done it again.
Bye, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Spending time outdoors has never felt more valuable. Whether it's exploring nature or relaxing in your yard, let's do it responsibly. Before going out, check for closures and fire restrictions. Practice social distancing, even when outside and on the trail. Back at home, if burning yard debris, keep your pile small. And no matter where you are, be sure to properly extinguish any outdoor fire. Drown, stir, drown, feel. We're all in this together. Help keep our safe places safe.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to ICRC-TV Sports. Three-pointer. Got it! In for the Comets score. Win! Comets win! Yeah!
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Play Eric Amarola's Race Day Mix.
You made your house a reality. Homeschooling yourself on loans, color-coding listings, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. If you can ace house hunting, you can do it for retirement. Get on track with tips at aceyourretirement.org.
Always a great day when ICRC is involved. Another edition of ICRC, bringing the community to you.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you. talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
On air or online. This is media for your community. This is ICRC-TV.
There's no better feeling than to be a part of a fire department. This is a family.
Police officer, it's a great job. It really is. You never know what you're going to get. You never know who you're going to help.
We're forgetting what's going on outside. We're focusing on what's going on in here, and we're all family.
This idea of a family academy, connecting families to talk about relevant issues.
Unbelievable. Milford has stormed all the way back in this football game. The Warriors in the state finals! State finals! Ohio Wesleyan, here we come!
And it's up to every one of you all to keep this going and carry the torch. I hope you will do that. Thank you.
ICRC-TV.
Leaves us with the next item on our agenda is item number 5, opening session.
I want to thank everyone for joining us this evening. If you're out here at the parade or listening, thank you again.
Into the end zone, and that is caught by Jaden Wood.
Come on now, how we doing? Y'all feeling all right out there?
Hello and welcome to this edition of This is Glendale. I'm Bet Chorus.
Hey guys, this is the Unit 1 crew from One Log Fire Department. We just want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And of course, you can always go to ICRC-TV.com.
Always a great day when ICRC is involved. Another edition of ICRC, bringing the community to you.
On air or online. This is media for your community. This is ICRC-TV.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Observe a domesticated human family in their natural habitat, known to their species as the backyard.
Hey, you think I should light it now?
I think it's good.
Yeah?
Oh dear, someone is about to burn a pile of debris that's too tall, which can start a wildfire. Blimey, it is.
It's Smokey.
It's Smokey Bear. What a legend.
Hey, it's Smokey. Sorry, it was too high. Right.
Watch as he astutely ensures that there's no wind, and how he removes some of the debris to create a smaller, safer burning pile.
No, you said make it bigger, baby. The bigger, the better.
Take note of our fearless furry friend here, humans.
I appreciate it. Fist bump.
Watching you.
Smokey's done it again.
Bye, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Spending time outdoors has never felt more valuable. Whether it's exploring nature or relaxing in your yard, let's do it responsibly. Before going out, check for closures and fire restrictions. Practice social distancing, even when outside and on the trail. Back at home, if burning yard debris, keep your pile small. And no matter where you are, be sure to properly extinguish any outdoor fire. Drown, stir, drown, feel. We're all in this together. Help keep our safe places safe.
Welcome back to Mason High School. Headed into the third quarter, the Comets are leading the Aviators 14-10 in the annual Battle of the Skies. But here's how we got here. That first touchdown of the game from the Comets, Nick Sailors plowing through. But right after that, the one play drive, 70-yard touchdown pass on the fake. That one, Adrian Larkins to Gio Garrett, and that was a momentum shifter for the Aviators. Without that play, they would be out of this game. Next up, we have another touchdown rush from Nick Sailors. Extends his way through. Nick Sailors, he's having himself a game, 2 touchdowns. And then this next one, how about this field goal from the Aviators, 48 yards. I mean, that's unheard of in high school, but he nails it through right down the uprights. And what a game, and what a kick from Tucker Groppe. And with that, we've now started the third quarter as Colson Bunch boots it away for Mason. But a great job from the Mason special teams unit that time, led by Sean Krugerberg. They're going to wrap the Aviators up. So Daniel, kind of walk us through that first half. What do both teams need to improve on?
Well, Sycamore, it's really just the penalties. You had so many drives, especially on defense, where you had Mason stopped, and then there's this 15-yard penalty. There's a face mask, there's a unnecessary roughness or something like that that really shoots yourself in the foot, and each time that's happened, Mason's been able to capitalize well. Mason, it's the big plays. Being able to, one thing that will help with those big plays is, of course, being able to establish the run, which we haven't been seeing much, but being able to establish those runs, it opens up a lot more passing. The passing's been working so far, but imagine how much better it could be if this run game gets going.
So Truder drops back. That one going to be handed off down the middle. And a big tackle from the hammer, Jake Bates. That time, it was Chase Terrell with the rush.
And that's what we hope to see more from this defense this half. The rushing attack for Sycamore was very good, especially against a great defense like Mason has. So I expect a second half kind of shift for this defense. You're more kind of into it at this point. You know what they're doing. Hopefully more plays like that.
4 receivers set now for Sycamore. The back is going to be Kimani Dangerfield Montgomery, as he'll take the handoff. He's been taking the heavy load for Sycamore tonight, but how about that, another big stop from Jake Bates, and he is rolling. You can see him, number 21 on the right side of your screen.
The pursuit from Bates on that play is scary. It kind of scared me a little bit. He rushed straight into the ball, no waiting, no hesitation. He is just in there. When you have a linebacker like that who's not afraid to hit, it's why he's so good.
This is his second to last game at Dwire Field. He's going to make it count. Truder takes the shotgun snap. Third down. He's looking for a wide open Gio Garrett, but that one time he overthrew him. So a great 3 and out from the Comets on their first defensive possession of the game. That's the momentum they needed.
Exactly. It feels like mostly when Garrett is open, it's towards the sideline, and he was open that time. Quarterback just not able to hit his receiver Garrett there. So yeah, Mason, a great stop there. This offense looking to kind of keep going off where they were last time. Nick Sailors already 2 touchdowns so far. See if they can make it 3.
Tucker Groppe with the punt. Sean Krugerberg, a risky catch attempt, but he's going to try to tiptoe his way down the sideline. He's going to be brought down inside of Aviator territory. There is a flag on the field. We'll wait to see the call.
Rutenberg's been very aggressive on these punt returns. We saw in the little bit of the muff punt on the first drive where it kind of looked like the ball was just rolling and he came out of nowhere, scooped it, and took it another 10, 15 yards. That time a little risky and not able to get too much out of it, but.
And the Aviators, they're pointing backwards and looks like this ball is going to be walked back, and we'll wait the official call. It's going to be an illegal block in the back from the Comets on the return. So that's going to push them out of Aviator territory, but still great field position to start off the second half for Mason. They hold the 4-point lead over Sycamore, but they'd like to extend their lead here, Daniel. Yeah,
you score here. His field goal will still have it a one-possession game, but every time you scored so far, it's a touchdown. You make it 6 again, it's a two-point game, and if you make it a 2-point game here, I think that's when Mason can really start to break away and get the scoreboard up more. Take a little bit of weight off their shoulders.
Brown takes a snap, Hibbett's his running back. He's been struggling all tonight, and again, unsuccessful. That time he's going to lose a yard.
Sycamore's defense.
Dylan Dye.
Sycamore's defense once again going in. The defense was not too good in the rushing game, giving up almost 170 a game, and this time I don't even think Hibbett's broke 50 yards today. It's a very frustrating game for Hibbett's so far, especially your homecoming game is when you really want to be having those highlight reels, but nothing so far. Sycamore's done a great job at containing the outside, not letting him go anywhere.
Nick Sailors now checks in as the back. He's having a great night. 2 touchdowns so far. 3 receivers. Brown looking towards the right side of the field. Zach Adeltis wide open, but he's going to heave it downfield. There is a penalty flag on the field. That will be pass interference. Colin Billhorn was the intended receiver. And I believe that's going to be a 15-yard penalty on Sycamore. And Daniel, we were talking about earlier, Sycamore, they were just shooting themselves in the foot with all their penalties in the first half, but a really bad penalty, yeah, blatantly obvious there.
Each drive.
That one from Ron Matthew.
The two, I think, every drive that Sycamore has not had a big penalty, they've been able to stop. The 2 drives where they've had the face mask and the roughness, Mason capitalized and scored off of. So you just got to limit those. It's easier said than done to limit those penalties, but you're flipping the field like this. Another thing I've seen is when Sailors is in, most of the time near midfield, it's a pass. So something for Sycamore to keep an eye out on.
Brown in the shotgun. That one can be a toss to Sailors on the outside. Shook away from one defender. He's looking to break another one as he's plowing through for a 16-yard gain. Nick Sailors, how about that? A defender met him in the backfield. He was able to break away for 18 yards for after he was touched.
Could you guess it when I say something, Mason does the complete opposite?
Yeah, no, Daniel, I know this is your first time on the mic, but we call that one the announcer's jig.
Announcer's jigs. I've always been a jig, really, historically. So I don't know, maybe I start saying something against Mason and they're just going to prove me wrong and do great. But a great play there. It felt like the first round where Mason's really been able to get to the outside. We said earlier that Sycamore's done a great job of containing the edges, but it gets to the outside, you're going to get first downs like they did there.
Brown in the shotgun, 1st and 10 at the Sycamore 30. That one going to be a handoff to Sailors. Sailors find some room on the outside. He's going to pick up about 4 yards on the rush. He's thrown down by Nick Brenham.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's been Nick Sailors most of the time. I feel like might as well just kind of keep him in. Every time he's getting the ball, he's getting those 5, those 10 any yards that he needs, especially near the end zone. Every time he's getting the ball, he's scoring. Hibbett hasn't been, it's been a bit of a different story, but you have a guy like Sailors who, it's great to have a duo like that where one guy doesn't work, the other guy's going to come in.
That time, Sailors with the rush, but it's going to be an offsides from Sycamore.
More and more penalties.
Exactly. They're just shooting themselves in the foot. That's going to turn a 2nd and 6 into a 2nd and 1. That's, that really opens up the playbook. Now Coach Little, the offense coordinator, Coach Gaster, they can take a shot here on 2nd down and still have 2 downs. To have, trusted Nick Sailors just pound the rock and get a yard or 2. But yeah, definitely look for a shot here from Larson Brown downfield.
I don't know. I honestly don't know about that. The run game has been working. You know, you get more pressure. You see like maybe a one-on-one with Greer on the outside. Could be good to take that.
Jack Ryder has a one-on-one right now on the left side.
He's been on today.
Another penalty, that's going to be a false start. So that's going to take away that offsides penalty and forget everything we said about opening up the playbook. As Comets right back where they started, 2nd and 6.
Yeah, and you got to think in the locker room for Sycamore that the first thing that they had to go over, at least on the negative side, because honestly in the first half there wasn't too much negative. But the first thing they almost had to go over was these penalties, and we've seen it so far this drive. This time it is on Mason, but in the first half just killing themselves with penalties.
And if we look on the screen here, Dr. Jonathan Cooper getting the Mason student section hyped up. That's what you like to see from the superintendent. Getting the Black Hole hyped up on their homecoming night. We love having Dr. Cooper around. That time, Brown hands it off to Sailors, and Sailors for the first time tonight wrapped up. He's not able to get anything there.
From the few games I've been to, it feels like the student section has really shown up. From a football game like this to the volleyball game we just did on Tuesday, probably the loudest student section I've seen from teams. Just having a good student section like that really just can boost so much. And the Black Hole for Mason, they always show out.
And you know, when you're one of the largest high schools in Ohio, you've got to expect one of the largest student sections in Ohio, and tonight Mason Comets, they're delivering. Black Hole. So 3rd and 9 now on the field. Larson Brown in the shotgun, looking towards the right side of the field. He finds Quentin Kaler, but it's not going to be enough for the first down. So he's going to be brought down at the 24. So this is where a tough decision comes into play. 4th and 4 here, Daniel. You know, Colson Bunchy missed that field goal earlier on in the game. I think Comets, they go for it. I think they stay on the field.
Yeah, exactly. Another thing about that last play, another free rusher hits Brown right as he throws, but Brown doing a great job of keeping the ball accurate. And Mason's in such a good position right here. You get a turnover on downs. No matter what, if you kick the field goal, it's still one possession game. I really don't see much hurt coming from going for this.
So yeah, we got 3 receivers in now. Brown, a little banged up from the last play, but he's ready to roll. One of the toughest players on this team. Brown rolling on the left side. Zach Adelta's wide open, but that ball a little bit thrown behind him. It's going to be incomplete, falls out of the hands of Adelta. So I think it's safe to say a missed opportunity there, Daniel.
Yeah, but you gotta give credit to Sycamore there. It took, again, the blocking this time. Brown, when he is rolling out, seems to be having a lot of time.
And yeah, that ball a little bit thrown behind him, but that was definitely catchable by Adelta. But you know, that was pretty tight coverage. You have to give a little bit of credit to Sycamore there.
Huge stop from Sycamore. So you're back in the same position that you were coming out of halftime, getting your first drive, same place you would get almost on a kickoff. So Sycamore can put together a drive. You score here, you take the lead. It's still very, very close. It's just all about, can you put a drive together? Can you stop Mason from getting the pressure that they've been showing this second half?
That one's going to be a rush from Kimani Dangerfield and Montgomery. But another great stop by the Mason defense. They have come out with a second win here. Coming out of halftime, Coach Kastner must have been pumping them up in the locker room. You know, homecoming night, they've got to represent Mason, represent all of the athletes and men that came before them, part of this program. That's something Coach Kastner preaches, is not only, you know, showing up on the field for yourselves and for your family, but for the people that came before you.
Like it is, a lot of the starters on this Mason defense are seniors, so a game like this has gotta mean a little more than just some regular varsity game. Being able to win in your last homecoming game is just something you can't forget. Deep shot here.
And that one intended for Gio Garrett, but overthrown by Seth Schroeder. J.C. Deaton had the coverage on him.
Deaton has one more step there. That could have been an interception. It really wasn't too close to Garrett. And double covered. You know, Garrett's been on today, but especially in a game like this where you need this drive, it feels like every drive so far has been the most important for Sycamore. I don't see the point in taking double coverage deep shots here.
Trips formation to the right now.
Third
for Schroeder, 3rd and 11. He's rolling to his right. That time, thrown out of bounds. It looked like he had a wide open man in Drew Datillo for the little 5-yard route there, but takes a deep shot, unsuccessful. You can see Datillo wide open on the bottom of your screen here. Not sure he would have picked up the first down, but he was looking for Garrett there. A little bit of questionable decision making there from Truder. I mean, he's been having a great game so far, but a crucial mistake there. Bad read, in my opinion.
Great job by the defense. Nothing open there, forcing them to take that shot.
So Tucker Gropey now back to punt. He has the quick release. That one a lot better than his first punt of the night. Sean Krugerbird's going to take it. Very risky.
Still very aggressive. No fair catch. No nothing. He's asking them hit him, and every time he's getting something out of it. Love to see that, but also got to be somewhat safe.
And we touched on it earlier. Sean Krugerberg, he has been just a breakout player for the Comets. Someone coming into the season, you know, we knew he was going to play a key role. You know, was kind of, he wasn't necessarily a starter in the secondary last year for the Comets as a junior, but he definitely did have some playing time. This year, stepped into the position of the starting strong safety, and my goodness, he's just been, he's erupted. He's punting, he's taking kicks, he plays a little bit on offense, and he's also playing that safety position.
I don't watch a ton of high school football, but I haven't seen a punter also be your punt returner.
Yeah.
That's.
And that one going to be a handoff to Sailors on the first carry of the drive for the Comets. Is going to pick up 3 yards, but again, touching on that, yeah, Krugerberg, he plays all the way around. And, you know, last year the Comets, they had Michael Molnar, who was one of their quarterbacks, tight end, receiver, corner combo. So the Comets love having that versatility, and then it allows you to have fake punts and stuff like that. You know, we saw from earlier, Sean Krugerberg, the fake punt, that set up great field position for the first touchdown of the night.
And honestly, I think that fake punt might have been the most important play of the game for Mason. You're giving the ball away, you were barely up, and having that fake punt gave you 40 yards and ultimately helped you score.
Now Larson Brown rolling towards his right on the play action pass, finds Kaler. He's got a lot of green grass ahead of him. That time he's going to truck his way through, and he's pushed out of bounds at the 15-yard line. So how about that play action pass on second down? Larson Brown to Quentin Kaler. The big pickup. Comets now in the Sycamore red zone.
He's able to pick up those extra few. Could have went out there, but just being able to just put your head down, keep going for those extra few yards. Play action has been working very good for Mason so far.
Tough running there from Quentin Kaler. And again, somebody stepped into a big role this year. He's one of those senior leaders for the Comets. He's been playing really well.
Like we said, one of the big things that Mason needed were those big plays, and that's a play that is going to get you something. Just those 20-yarders are going to
Brown
really
hands
help.
it off to Nick Sailors, and Nick Sailors walks his way in for a touchdown. Number 3 for Nick Sailors tonight. And how about that? Nick Sailors having himself a night on homecoming, and we're going to take him.
You could have put anybody in that backfield and they were going to score. The offensive line there was superb. You could not ask for anything more. Sailors just had huge gap.
We'll take a look here. I mean, all of this green grass, he's untouched as he trots onto the right side of the end zone for his 3rd touchdown of the night, and the Comets' 3rd touchdown as well. We can call this the Nick Sailors show, Daniel.
Yeah, really. All 3 scores coming from Nick Sailors. You saw nose tackle on the ground. Beautiful job from Mason on this drive.
And that extra point attempt through the uprights from Colson Bunch as the Comets extend their lead to 21-10.
And
we're going to take one more look at this run. I mean, I guess you could say he was touched by Michael Johnson, but I mean, wasn't going to do anything. Nick Sailors trots his way into the end zone, and the crowd is pumped up.
Usually you can't tackle Nick Sailors with one guy. We've seen today.
Let alone one hand.
Yeah, let alone one hand. But we've even seen these 3 guys in the end zone, and he still won't be brought down. He just keeps pushing forward. It's really just incredible. Nobody's really stopped. Nobody nobody's stopping Sailors tonight. He's put on a huge show, getting this to an 11-point lead.
He's rallying up the crowd. The Mason Black Hole starting to jump around a little bit.
You're a Mason fan. That score really takes a lot of ease off your shoulders, because getting this to a two possession game, it lets the defense, it lets the offense calm down a lot more, and just being able to put more steady drives and not having to worry about scoring more quickly.
And that kickoff by Bunch going to be returned from Jackson Nieblank. He's going to be stopped at the 24-yard line. A big tackle from Tyler Wilson.
So Sycamore offense coming back on. This is a drive where you really need something to go on right now. You're down by 11. There's still a lot of time left. You'll have a whole nother quarter left, but the way Mason's been playing, you need to start scoring more quickly and quickly.
So Seth Schroeder now takes a snap. That one going to be a handoff to Adrian Larkins. We haven't seen a lot of him tonight. One of the leading rushers for Sycamore. That time he's going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 10.
Another name we haven't heard a lot was a guy who we brought up in the intro, Harney. Not a lot of carries so far. We've seen a lot of Montgomery today. That's really one of the first times we've seen Larkins in the backfield. See if Sycamore is going to stick with that.
Schroeder, play action on the right side of the field. He finds a wide open Gio Garrett.
A lot of play action.
Pick up a first down.
Haven't seen exactly a ton of just normal 3-step drops in the pocket. A lot of the passes coming from Sycamore has been these play actions, and I mean they've been working. You have the guy wide open there, easy first down, keeps the drive alive.
So Schroeder now in the shotgun again. That one going to be handed off to Adrian Larkins. Larkins trying to find a hole, but he's going to be stuffed after a 1-yard gain.
He got a helmet off.
And there's going to be a flag on the play.
It's Nick Saylor's helmet.
And I'm wondering if we see a little scuffle after the play, maybe an offensive face mask as we look here. And yeah, I think we're definitely going to see a penalty here on Adam Marshall, and that's just a play that cannot happen, especially when you're down in a game. You're 0-7 on the year. This could be a huge upset. And just a very, very foul play from Adam Marshall. You know, Coach Greg Ramsey's not going to be happy with that one.
Might be different in high school, but I thought if your helmet were to come off, you had to go out for a play. It must be different.
And I think that's only if it comes off, you know, that was a penalty. So yeah, from a contact hit. That one ripped off.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
So yeah, that's going to walk them back 15 yards. Unsportsmanlike conduct, offensive face mask, and man, what a
penalty!
Yeah, it just wasn't a good penalty from the tight end.
Every drive you've had one of these penalties. We've seen there's only been one drive so far that I can remember that you have a 15-yard penalty and Mason doesn't capitalize on it. It was that 4th and 4 turnover, but everything else, it's Mason's been capitalizing off of it, and now it's 1st and 24.
Schroeder is going to take it himself at the quarterback draw. He's going to pick up 7 yards on the carry, but still very long.
Unique
2nd
play
and 18 yards.
You know, getting 7 there, it makes the drive a little bit easier. Still going to be 2nd and 17, not a position that you want to be in, but you know, we've seen Sycamore today have some of these plays where, you know, look out for Gio Garrett here. It's really been one of Sycamore's only answers so far in big play areas like this.
So Schroeder in the shotgun, nobody with him. He's looking towards the middle of the field, nobody there, and the closest man was Weston Simmons by a landslide, almost a pick.
Yeah, it almost looked like he threw it to Mason. Nobody really over there. It's been a lot of times so far where Mason has been a step away from the turnover, and you know, Sycamore gets a big break there, but it's not too much of a break because now it's 3rd and 17. You need to bring out one of those trick plays again. Who knows? Maybe they have another Philly special type of play.
So the 3rd quarter starting to wind down. We've got all 2s on the score clock. 2 minutes and 22 seconds left. So trips to the left. 4 receivers set now. Schroeder in the shotgun, looking towards, it's going to be a screen pass to Adrian Larkins, but Larkins going to be swarmed by Comet defenders, 4th and 9.
Could have worked there. At the beginning, it looked like he had a lot of room, but Mason was able to get back, not let anything happen. He's going to make it 4th down.
And there's going to be a penalty on the play. It's going to be a face mask by the Comets.
Well, there's one of Mason's few bad penalties we've seen. Mostly a clean game from Mason so far, especially on the defense. But maybe now's the chance that Sycamore can flip. We've seen Mason be able to capitalize on these penalties, and this is the first shot that we're really seeing Sycamore in one of these opportunities, keeping the drive alive.
Schroeder now in the shotgun, looking towards the right side of the field. A wide open fade to Gio Garrett. A little bit underthrown, but Garrett's able to pull it in as he trots in to Mason territory. He's going to be brought down at the 13-yard line, and there he is, Gio Garrett. He's making big plays happen for the Aviators.
Maybe it wasn't that 3rd and 17 play where they needed Garrett, but any play right there, the deep threat, and Garrett beat his man. If it was thrown a little bit, if he let him a little bit, that could have been 6. But still, either way, it's a great play for Sycamore. And now they're in the red zone, so.
And not a huge showing from the Ave Cave. You know, the Sycamore only down the street in Mason Montgomery. I expected a little bit bigger crowd, but you know, Sycamore keeping this game close. Schroeder takes the handoff down the middle to Dangerfield Montgomery as he plows his way, arguably his best run of the night for 8 yards.
And bend don't break for Mason's defense. They've been able to drive so far this shot, but sometimes the hardest place to keep going is in the red zone. So you've been getting pressure. You know they're probably going to try to give it to Montgomery a lot because he's been able to push for those extra few yards. Got to see if Mason can bring the pressure, and more importantly, if Sycamore can really capitalize on this.
Schroeder with the handoff to Dangerfield Montgomery. That time he's going to be swarmed at the line, but a last-second push from Sycamore will allow them to pick up about a yard. So, you know, there we go. Dangerfield Montgomery making something out of nothing.
They'll make it 3rd
There's going to be a timeout on the field for an injured player. And that, I believe, is going to be Cumani Dangerfield Montgomery. He's been the lead back for Sycamore all night, so that could be a crucial loss for the Aviators as the training staff heads onto the field to check him out.
You really don't want to lose a guy like this, but if unfortunately it is something like that, you do have 2 guys in the backfield, honestly 3 that we've seen today who can take that spot. Hope the best for Montgomery.
Third quarter winding down. We're less than 30 seconds away. Been a pretty long game, you know, at least from against last week, Mason game. I mean, I feel like that first, Dan, you were there covering the game with us. I felt like that first half just flew by.
Yeah, this half has definitely felt a lot longer. I remember looking in the second half, seeing their 6 minutes and being like, where did the game go? But it's been longer so far recently, but
as we can see, the packed house here at the Mason student section. The theme, fire, as you know, the school store, the Comet Zone, supporting the local Mason firefighters, all they do for the community.
Big 3rd down here. 3rd and 4, Mason, you need to stop, but honestly, this could be 4th range, or 4th goal, or
yeah,
4th down territory.
Yeah. So 3rd and 4, Schroeder looking towards the left side of the field, but he's going to be swarmed by Mason defenders leading the charge. Who other than Nick Sailors and Jake Bates? They're having themselves some nights. As we're going to take a quick look at the replay here.
It's the first sack for Mason tonight, and it couldn't be in a bigger situation.
And how about Bryce Falk leading the charge as well? Forgot to list his name. I mean, the entire Mason defensive line. How about that rush?
You think of guys who are going to step up there. That'll be the end of the 3rd quarter. But you think of guys who are going to step up there. You think of Nick Sailors. You think of Jake Bates. And for a time to get your first sack of the game, that's the biggest place so far for that to happen.
And with that, we're going to head to a quick break as the Comets extend their lead here in the 3rd quarter, 21-10. Now the score here at Dwire Field.
Spending time outdoors has never felt more valuable. Whether it's exploring nature or relaxing in your yard, let's do it responsibly. Before going out, check for closures and fire restrictions. Practice social distancing, even when outside and on the trail. Back at home, if burning yard debris, keep your pile small. And no matter where you are, be sure to properly extinguish any outdoor fire. Drown, stir, drown, feel. We're all in this together. Help keep our safe places safe.
And welcome back to Dwire Field now. Aviators, they've had success from their kicking unit and Tucker group tonight. Zagrapi with a field goal attempt as that one through the uprights as Sycamore closes the gap.
A little bit of a bad snap.
8 points, yeah, bad snap.
A little bit of a bad snap, but a great recovery from Sycamore there, being able to get it quickly enough. And as a Bengal fan, we take those long snappers for granted.
Yeah, tough first game loss against the Steelers with the long snapper, but yeah, I mean, how about that? Tucker Grappe, he's had himself a night.
No delay, no anything by the kicker. Holder doing a great job. So making an 8-point game. So still a 1-possession game. Mason going to get the ball back. You hope that they're going to be getting, that they're going to continue to build off of those last few drives where they've scored every single time.
A few of the comments here. Smart move, I think, was just wind the clock down. You know, you haven't really had those big plays all night long, so just keep doing what you're doing. I mean, you have the lead. It's not the prettiest game in the world so far from the Comets, but hey, they have 21 points on the board, and I think Coach Cash is going to take that. Their defense has been able to contain Sycamore to only 1 touchdown.
And the only person keeping this from being a very ugly game is Nick Sailors, and I'm expecting to see a lot more of him this drive. Haven't seen much of Hibbett this half, and you know, Sailors has really filled in that role, and he's done everything Mason could ask for. So really the goal here, 12 minutes left, is wind this clock down as much as you can. It's still a 1-possession game, so you have to be a little careful. But you keep feeding Nick Sailors.
This one going to be recovered by Kai Woolfolk, the junior linebackers. He's going to have a nice opening, makes a defender miss, and he's going to be brought down inside of Aviator territory. So how about that? The short kickoff from Tucker Grappe at that time.
Usually you don't see returns for kicks like that, but able to make definitely the most out of it.
And Kai Woolfolk, you know, he's not used to taking those kickoff duties, but with the short one, he's more of a blocker, but boom, how about trucks a defender there with a nice juke move here at the 50-yard line, makes a man miss, and ultimately brought down at the 41.
Might be asking Coach a little bit, why don't you put me back there a few times? He doing stuff like that. It's a great field positioning now for Mason.
Yeah, the Comets, they've had nice field position all night long. Haven't been able to capitalize every time, but still 21 points on the board. You can't complain too much.
Special teams has been great this game.
Yeah, man in motion, Chase Blevins. Larson Brown in the shotgun, takes the snap. Looking towards the left side of the field. It's going to be a screen pass to Nick Sailors. Nick Sailors, a lot of room and a lot of blockers as Nick Sailors. How about that? It's going to be 4 touchdowns for Nick Sailors. The 41-yard screen pass from Larson Brown. And the crowd is electric here. And Daniel, what a game from Nick Sailors. I don't even think we have to debate who the player of the game has been so far.
Yeah, there's really going to be no debate to the end of the game. No Sycamore defenders even near. And even on the screen pass, you have all those blockers going out. No rush from the play for Larson Brown. And honestly, Sailors could have just walked in there almost the entire time. So going from 17 to 13, or no, 20, yeah, 17.
21 to 13,
21 to 13.
Your lead. That's huge for the Comets as Colson Bunch knocks that one through the upright. So now 28 to 13, and man, that is exactly what the Comets needed. You can see, I mean, Nick Sailors is exhausted. He's kind of carrying the team on his back tonight.
He really is, not kind of. He is carrying the team on his back. It seems like any time you need a big play, just call for number 20. He's going to get the job done. What a game to remember, and how about any game you can do it? It's your homecoming game.
Senior year homecoming, and you know, fun night tomorrow night. You know, you've got homecoming, the whole weekend festivity. You know, yesterday the annual homecoming parade here at Mason. A lot of festivities going on for the Comets, and you can kind of see the just kind of sad expressions on the Sycamore side of the field. There's no other way to put it. You know, they're down right now.
And just within minutes, this went from a one-possession game to Mason really carrying away with that. And it's something you expect to see with this Mason team. You've seen better in the second half, excluding that West game from last week. And, you know, it's 17-13 at half, and getting the ball with Sycamore, you think that they had a chance to go down and score.
And that time, the kickoff from Colson Bunch, but he's going to be contained right away. Again, Tyler Wilson and J.C. Deaton bringing him down. Tyler Wilson, he's having a nice game on special teams.
So coming back out for Sycamore, it's not over. We've seen worse than this. And we've seen that Sycamore, they can get those one-play touchdowns. They can get those deep balls. And, you know, it's good to be celebrating stuff like this. Nick Saylor's having a great game, but if Sycamore can put together a great drive here, you know, game's still definitely far from over.
So the Aviators are going to be starting their possession at the 20-yard line now. 1st and 10. Truder in the shotgun. Probably going to see a lot of him in this final quarter. So he's going to find Gio Garrett, but wrapped up immediately by J.C. Deaton.
We've seen a lot of those quick one-step drops and just throwing it to the side. Great job there from Mason. Tight coverage, not letting him get any yards after the catch. Really couldn't ask for much more.
Coach Castor has got to be happy with the way his team's been playing in this second half. 28-13 lead over their big rivals, Sycamore, from across the road. It's 2nd and 5 now. Truder in the shotgun. He's going to drop back, look towards the right side of his field. He's going to find a wide open Gio Garrett. Gio Garrett tries with the stiff arm, but he's going to be brought down by J.C. Deaton.
That might have been the pass of the game, honestly. He got decked as he threw it, and it was still a perfect pass.
We'll take a look at the replay here. Truder takes a big hit. That one going to be from Aaron Spears. But yeah, I mean, just absolutely threads the needle. Big play to Gio Garrett. And that's been a duel on the, I mean, if you're watching one-on-one, it's very entertaining to watch Gio Garrett and J.C. Deaton. You know, both of them, they both had great games, and you know, sometimes given, like, J.C. Deaton will have great coverage, the next play he'll get burnt.
Feels like we have an injured player here for Mason, but it feels like every single time Sycamore's dropping back, it's going to Gio Garrett on Deaton, and it's been very mixed.
He is actually the injured player right now for the Comets. They're stretching him out, hoping it's only, you know, a cramp. As you know, he's been getting picked on a little bit tonight, but we've seen some great coverage. If you go back to the second quarter, I mean, he's been containing Gio Garrett, you know, when he can.
Yeah, it's been a very fun battle to watch. And like I said, it's still very far from over. Sycamore putting a good drive together so far, and we've seen them put a lot of good drives together. It's just about how they're finishing the drive is really what's been the deciding factor recently. You get 6 here, you're very back in the game.
So 3 receivers in the game now for Sycamore. Truder in the shotgun, dropping back, looking towards the left side of the field, heaving it downfield. Potentially an interception for the Comets, and in and out of the hands of Charlie Raymond, the junior corner. And again, we saw that earlier from Zach Rogers. Daniel, I think he was more worried about taking that home for 6 than actually taking the interception.
A ton of aggression from Truder so far today. Just so close to an interception, and you get an interception there. It's not like it would seal the game, but it would close such a huge gap for Mason. And stuff like that you have to have back, but still
there was a penalty flag on the field, and it's going to be roughing the passer. So even if Charlie Raymond were to secure that interception, it would have been all for naught after the roughing the passer.
We saw last time that Mason had a costly penalty like this. Sycamore was able to get points, got 3 last time. They need 7 this time.
So 1st and 10 now. Sycamore inside of Comet territory. They're at the 37-yard line, and I believe Sycamore is going to call their first timeout of the second half.
Seen a lot of trips recently for Sycamore. A lot of shotgun is mainly what they've been doing today. And Intruder, you gotta maybe not be so aggressive. The past game, you've had those two balls, one to Deaton or no, not Deaton.
Gio Garrett.
Yeah, but almost intercepted. So
yeah, by Deaton. And yeah, again, Intruder, he's taking a lot of shots downfield, some of them risky. He's gotten really lucky on 2 of those passes. They were dropped.
But he also has been very efficient in deep ball. And you're going deep, you're hearing Gio Garrett's name, and it feels like almost every time they're going deep to Garrett, they're getting a big play. But this is a drive where you got to do anything to get 7. You have to do anything to get back in this game. So we'll see what Sycamore has here. First and 10.
They're trotting back onto the field. Another 4 receiver set. Again, we talked about earlier, Sycamore, a very pass-heavy offense. Schroeder, he's had himself a nice night. And a lot of pressure coming off the left side from Jake Bates, and Jake Bates with the sack. How about the hammer? We've called his name a lot tonight.
Second sack of the game for Mason, and it's the second time for a sack that we've heard the name Jake Bates. Great play, and it's gonna be a killer for Sycamore. Loss of 9 on that play. It'll be 2nd and 19. Jake Bates really the heart and soul of this defense, especially the pass rush. And we've said for Mason, if you get pressure, you will be great today. And we wish you could have saw more of that, but
as Schroeder drops back, getting pressure again. They attempt the screen pass, but that time it's going to be Malachi Reed all up in the face of Adrian Larkins.
Larkins
so 3rd and 18 now for Sycamore.
Had to be helped up a little bit.
You know, we talked about it earlier, Mason, their offense, they've been kind of playing that wear down mentality. We're just going to run it down your throat, just kind of wear you out. And a lot of these Sycamore players, they're playing both ways. And I think we're starting to see that fatigue starting to come into effect here.
Yeah, it's been very different for both offenses. For Mason, it's been the lack of the big plays and being able to run the ball every time, getting those yards. And for Sycamore, it's been a lot of more aggression passing-wise.
As Truder looking towards the left side of the field, and that one in and out of the hands of Zach Rogers. Great coverage.
Once again, Zach Rogers' name so close to an interception there. Once again,
you know that
think
one
he's due.
Can't blame him as much on that one. Zach Rogers a little bit smaller at the cornerback position, listed at 5'10", but I'm gonna be honest, I know Zach a little bit, and I think that height's a little bit shorter. But you know, Zach, despite his lack of size, as we can say, he plays with a lot of heart off the secondary, and he's been a key role in the secondary for the Comets all season.
And even though he hasn't been able to capitalize on the interception, he's still been everywhere. He's still great in coverage and just being in positions like that.
So that's going to force Sycamore to punt. It's that one. Going to go out of bounds. And
this time we don't see a return.
Yeah, Tucker Gropey, he is very disappointed in that kick.
I bet if it stayed in bounds, we would have seen Krukenberg take that and not caring about who's near him.
Yeah, who needs the fair catch when you can try to finagle your way through? The Comets got to drain some clock here now. 9 minutes and 27 seconds left in the game. If you can even if you're not going to put points on the board here, if you can take 4 to 5 minutes off the clock, then you're going to force Sycamore. They're a 2-possession game. They'd have to score twice with 4 to 5 minutes left in the game, and that would kind of put them out of reach.
And I wonder if there's a guy on Mason who really can take control right now.
Let me guess, Nick Sailors.
Yeah, probably.
And how about that? We're going to see the
Look
handoff to
the
Sailors on the left side. A burst of energy, and Nick Sailors, he's going to make it 5 touchdowns on the night. And Nicholas Sailors, what a game from the senior. This is going to be a night he's never going to forget. His senior homecoming, and that time it's a 67-yard touchdown run.
The only people to score today is the kicker and Nick Sailors. What a game. Big hole there. The breakaway speed from Sailors here.
And again,
see him
makes
make
a few defenders miss, and he's just showing off. Not only is he a power back, but he has that speed as well.
Yeah, you have a power back that can do something like that. There's not many teams that can proudly say that they have a guy like that. What a day from Nick Sailors.
Colson Bunch lined up for the extra point attempt, 34-13. Now the Comet lead. And Daniel, I think it's safe to say this game might be out of reach for the Aviators now.
Yeah, you're running out of time, 9 minutes. You know, Sycamore, the way they're playing on offense, you really can't be switching anything up now. You got to really start being aggressive. But honestly, the game plan might just be don't let Mason get the ball. And if they do, just make all 11 players focus on Nick Sailors, because that's all Mason needs right now. If it isn't broke, don't fix it. Nick Sailors has been, he's been that guy.
He's been the man. He's been the man. And now shifting into more of a we're going to look at this replay one more time as Nick Sailors showing off that quick burst, makes a man miss, and then showing off the speed.
Great
exactly.
Today.
And, you know, starting off the year, they struggled a little bit. They're undersized, but, man, tonight they've been playing with a lot of heart. But going back to what I was saying, when we were showing that celebration on the sideline from Nick Sailors, we saw number 14 in a sweatshirt. He's not dressed anymore, Braden Greer. So, you know, doesn't have a big impact tonight. But looking into future games, you got Fairfield next week at home and Princeton in
none
week
of those
10.
easy games.
None of those are easy games. And you got to hope that Braden Greer's healthy, and the Comets, they're going to have to rely on that passing attack.
But what a way for Nick Sailors to step in. Like, it's not even that he wasn't doing much. He's been doing everything for this offense, it feels like. But
and a big return there that time. It's going to be Jackson Nieblack. But, yeah, building off what you were saying, Nick Sailors, I mean, he's having himself a night. And throughout the season, it's not like he's just breaking out tonight. I mean, he's been making an impact all year long. Again, leading the team in touchdowns. And he's
definitely extended that lead.
He definitely extended that lead tonight.
A while.
And I think it's safe to say he might extend his lead in the GMC standings. Now he's going to be probably in that top 5.
He was close going into tonight, and honestly, yeah. I mean, I don't know if maybe you have a Lakota West or something, a guy scoring 8 touchdowns a game, something like that. But what a night to remember for Nick Sailors.
Yeah, and this performance tonight.
Your senior homecoming, if there's a game that you want something like that, it's going to be this.
And that time going to be handed off to Adrian Larkins. You know, with that injury from Kimani, Dangerfield, Montgomery, we've seen Adrian Larkins stepping into that running back 1 role. But yeah, nice run there, picks up 8 yards.
Ever since we've seen Montgomery go down, haven't heard much of his name ever since, but yeah, but we've seen Larkins able to step up.
So 2nd and 2 now, under 9 minutes left in the game. We've got to see a big play from Sycamore. Another handoff, again to Adrian Larkins. That time he's going to pick up the first down.
Another player down.
The tackle that time, Liam McMains, but another player down. And I believe that's going to be Adrian Larkins, yes, number 41. So, man.
You see a guy rolling like that on the ground, it's never good. You already have Montgomery go down. Losing a guy like Larkins now is the last thing that Sycamore needed.
So not only has your running back 1 from the night in Kimani Dangerfield Montgomery out, but that's a big loss from Adrian Larkins. And luckily, you know, we talked about they have Eugene Harney, the junior, to kind of step into that running back 3 role.
We haven't heard much of his name today.
Yeah, we haven't heard his name a lot tonight.
Going into tonight, he was 2nd in the GMC in tackles, and you know, especially he's also good in the offense. He's a good dual threat. He has 100 rushing and 100 receiving. Haven't heard his name much. We might hear it a little more starting now with what's going on with Larkins.
Yeah, 2 big losses offensively for Sycamore, and that's demoralizing. You know, this game is a little bit out of reach, but even building into the next few weeks in playoffs, if you're going to be out with Dangerfield Montgomery and then you're not going to have Adrian Larkins, I mean,
you're going to need a guy like Harney to step up in that. Once again, it's kind of like last week for Mason. It doesn't feel like Sycamore is really getting killed.
Yeah.
The scoreboard can be misleading sometimes, and, you know, besides Nick Sailors just running all over the field doing whatever he wants, Sycamore hasn't been playing like they're getting blown out by 20 or 30. It's just...
Yeah, and building off that, we talked about it earlier, Mason, they're just so hard to game plan for because you never know which pieces of the puzzle they're going to be using. You know, some nights it may be Tay Hibbett, And, you know, last week we saw, or then the week before we saw big games from him. But tonight it's been Nick Sailors. And, you know, same with the receiver position. Tonight it's been Jack Ryder, but earlier on in the season, you know, it's been Braden Greer. So you never really know who it's going to be, but not a good sign from Sycamore. The whole sideline is on a kneel. So, you know, with this injury timeout of Adrian Larkins, we're going to head to a quick break. We hope he's okay.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to ICRC-TV Sports. Three-pointer. Got it! In for the Comets score. Win! Comets win! Yeah!
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Play Eric Amarola's Race Day Mix.
Yeah, I think that I would just make sure they're not really wanting people to go on the field, but if you tell them you're. And we're back here live now at Dwire Field. It's not a good sight if you're an Aviator fan. The field. We're going to take a quick replay. It looks like somebody landed on his leg. And, ooh, that does not look good. Ooh, yeah.
Oh, no. Well, at least he didn't need any cart, anything like that. He's obviously not going to be coming in for the rest of the game. Super unfortunate for Sycamore. He can't. It feels like a lot has been going wrong for them. See if Harney or anybody can step up. Incomplete. Once again on the outside, Gio Garrett. Looked like he had him.
So 2nd and 10 now. Sycamore, if they hadn't already lost all the momentum from that long 67-yard Nick Sailors rushing touchdown, I mean, even bigger than football, that injury to Adrian Larkins was scary. So Truder going to hand that one off down the middle. It's going to be a 2-yard gain. So 3rd and 8 now. But, you know, a positive, Cumani Dangerfield Montgomery is back in the game now for Sycamore. So even though you lost Adrian Larkins, it's nice to see your starting running back
coming back in.
So Truder in the shotgun now on 3rd and 8, looking towards the left side of the field, but the Comets are going to wrap him up after a 4-yard gain. So they're inside of Comet territory at the 48-yard line. Look at a quick replay here.
Going off of what you said about Montgomery, if he's coming back in while you're down by a good bit, then it must not be that serious, because if it's anything kind of serious, you would think the coaches would kind of hold him off for the rest. But seeing him back in and moving around well, it's a huge sign for Sycamore.
Truder on 4th down, looking towards the right side of the field. That one going to be picked off by Sean Krugerberg. A lot of green grass ahead of him. Can he commit some separation? And he is. Sean Krugerberg with a pick 6 on homecoming night. And what a way to top off the 4th quarter. We have the 67-yard rush by Nick Sailors, and Sean Krugerberg with the interception returned for a touchdown as the Comets continue to extend their lead.
There is a flag down, though. First time that Mason's able to hold on to the ball on defense, they make the most out of it. We'll see what this flag is. But the 2 guys for Mason who's really just been the heart and soul tonight is Sean Krugenberg and Nick Sailors.
On that flag on the field, I believe it is going to be a hold on Sycamore. So we'll await the official call, but I do believe
it's going to be on Mason.
It's actually, yeah, it is going to be on Mason. So it was during the return.
May have been a legal block in the back near the 10.
So the touchdown's nullified, but still, the pick is huge. So we'll take a look here. As you can see, Sean Krugerberg just jumps the route. And I believe it's going to be on 45 right here.
No, right
as he
here.
blocks in the back, yeah. That was a good call by the officials. But, you know, it is your homecoming night. Blowout game. Mason fans are like, come on, we want that pick six, you know, put it on the stat sheet.
Well,
so Brown takes that one, going to be handed off to Hibbett.
We see Hibbett back in.
And I think they're going to rest Sailors a bit after his explosive touchdown night.
But you got 5, you would want to make it 6. But smart decision, especially with these next 2 weeks, that you're going to need a guy who's going to be doing that, like Nick Sailors. So you now have time to really get Hibbett back into motion, get that part of the game going, and heading into the game next week, if you're able to end off on good momentum for Hibbett, it'll be huge, especially with how so far it hasn't been as you expected.
So Brown under center. Another handoff to Hibbett. Hibbett finds a hole in this fourth quarter. He's having a lot better every night. And we're going to give a quick GMC update on the score. Huge game at Fairfield High School. Over 4,000 tickets sold as the Fairfield Indians are taking on the Lakota West Firebirds. And a little bit of a shocker upset going on right now at the end of the third. Fairfield up against Lakota West 17-10. So that's something to keep in the back of your mind. The Comets, they play Fairfield next week.
Undefeated Lakota West. See if maybe Mason towards the top of the GMC a win tonight, and fingers crossed for Lakota West loss, but it'll really bring them up.
And next week, ICRC will be here to cover that Fairfield versus Mason game at Dwire Field as Tay Hibbett be brought down at the line of scrimmage for 2nd and 10. But, I mean, Daniel, that's just something that's been a common theme throughout the GMC, not really only in football, but all sports. It's just a dominant conference. You know, the amount of Division I players, especially in football, coming out. You know, we have teams like Princeton, Lakota West, Fairfield sitting at the top of the GMC, but don't forget about Mason. They're sitting at 4th right now. And, you know, with the win tonight, that they only have 1 loss in the GMC.
Somebody's got to lose Lakota West or Fairfield. It'll be huge for Mason unless they tie.
So Brown, hand off to Tay Hibbett on 2nd down, trying to make a man miss. He's going to pick up 3 yards on 2nd down. Flags after the play.
Pushing and shoving.
Some pushing and shoving. And again, if this is going to be on Sycamore, just dumb penalties that, you know, don't need to happen at the end of the, especially at the end of the game. Personal foul, and it is going to be on Sycamore. And man, if you're Coach Greg Ramsey, I think it's safe the Aviators going to be doing a lot of sprints at practice.
Yeah, it might not be a fun Monday. We talked about how Sycamore was defending the run, but gotta wonder if that's how most games went. You start out very good, but towards the end, especially with all those two-way players, you have, you know, a little bit of the fatigue coming in, and Nick Sailors just being able to run all over the defense.
And again, yeah, it is a credit to, you know, Sycamore. They got a lot of dudes playing both sides of the ball. Dylan Dye, we've got, you know, Adrian Larkins was playing both sides of the ball. Chase Terrell, I mean, just you can go down the list. But with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left in the game, Mason, they're just going to take their time. They're up 35-13.
Chance to make it 40-plus here for Mason.
And that would be huge, you know, for momentum heading into a big game against Fairfield. Clock's winding down.
The big thing we talked about going into today was how were they going to respond from the game last week versus West. Safe to say they've done pretty well today.
Exactly. Brown takes the shotgun snap, hands it off to Hibbett. Hibbett making a few defenders miss, but he's ultimately going to be dragged down after a 2-yard gain. And Hibbett, bright future as a Comet. You can see here, very shifty at times. Didn't get a lot of help from his offensive line, but that line, they've been playing phenomenal tonight, playing with a lot of heart.
And only a sophomore as well. It's just going to keep getting better and better as the years go on. You know, usually when you have a sophomore running back who's getting all these reps, it's hard to imagine that in a few years he won't be at the top of the GMC, and that he wouldn't be having Nick Saylor games like tonight. Very bright future for Hibbett.
Exactly, you mentioned before, only as a sophomore, splitting carries with Saylor, sitting at 6th in the GMC in yards. Hibbett, he's making a lot of man's miss, and he's going to pick. It's going to be a touchdown. There is a flag on the play, however. It's an unbelievable stiff arm from the sophomore.
Geez.
Now, I do believe that this play is going to be nullified after the holding call, and it will be. But, man, love seeing, even in the 4th quarter with 3 minutes left, the sophomore with a nice stiff arm. We'll see it right here on the replay.
Able to break to the outside.
And boom, just throws him down.
Just
the
throws him
strength
to the
from the
ground.
sophomore.
See what the flag is.
It is a hold on Mason like we expected. So that's going to push them back to the 21-yard line.
And even though you do get the hold, still a great look from Hibbett that play. Guess he just gives you another rep.
Exactly, and you know, when the game, not a lot of time left on the clock, the game has this much separation on the scoreboard. It's all about getting reps, sometimes putting your young bucks in, and we've got Hibbett in right now, the sophomore. He's looking like a true back right now. Look at that, as he's making some great decisions as he continues to plow forward. And man, Tay Hibbett, very slow start in the 1st quarter, came in as their RB1.
I counted about 3 times that play that it looked like he should have went down, and he just didn't. He just stayed up, kept going. He was able to get an extra 5 to 6 yards from what looked like would have been a 1-2-yard carry. And that's something that you see a lot from Hibbett. He doesn't go down quickly. Same thing with Sailors. It's not, you usually won't get one player, especially one arm, that's gonna be taking them down.
And exactly, and you know, to be able to put on productions like these, we need volunteers, and it could be you in the one of the viewers right now, you know, getting to access high school football games. It's a fun time working on these fancy cameras. Tibbet is plowing through again. That time he's going to pick up about 5 yards, so 4th and 1. But again, if you're interested in volunteering for ICRC-TV, make sure you reach out. And here we've got our credits for and our crew for tonight's broadcast. We have Jason Dudley, Dean Lowry, the director. You know, I've been Adam Little, joined alongside Daniel Panetti. Daniel, I'd like to give a quick shout out to him. His first ever announcing game, but he's killing it. Our technical director, Blake Caricio. Aaron Dornhecker working at camera, as well as Braden Wass, Mark Price, and Eric Johan. So a big shout out to our crew, Cooper Havens, working the replays. And again, Trey Capo working graphics. We need a lot of volunteers to be able to put on a broadcast like this, but I'd like to thank you guys for watching tonight. Just under 2 minutes left. As Mason's, yeah, they're gonna call a timeout. And you know, why not? You'd like to get, you know, this is all about reps, so you want to get those plays right.
You want to get that 40 on the board, but you also don't want to overdo it.
Exactly.
Try to make the most sense out of that, but 4th and 1 in the red zone. Really could see them doing either or. It's fun, you know, your first broadcast, it's always fun to call a win for your team. And you know, Mason today, especially the second half, just everything that wasn't going right in the first half for Mason has gone right in the second half. You see the big plays, Nick Saylor's, the interception. What they were missing in the first half was those interceptions, was
those
long
big
runs.
plays. Yeah, Nick Saylor's that 67-yard rush and then the 41-yard screen pass. I mean, what else can you ask for?
They are going to bring on the field goal unit here.
And I believe,
go for it.
Yeah, Larson Brown was just trying to catch Sycamore defense to jump. But yeah, Colson Bunch missed his first field goal attempt. But this one, straight through the uprights as Comets extend their lead to 38 to 13. So a great showing on their homecoming night. A little bit of a slow first half, but it's been all Comets in the second half, and it's been all Nick Sailors all night long. 5 touchdowns, and we'll take a look at some of these key plays, especially from Nick Sailors. You see his first touchdown run there. And then on the Sycamore side, that the Philly special, as we like to call it, the trick play. For the touchdown, that one, Gio Garrett, and then Nick Sailor's second touchdown of the night. The long 48-yard field goal. That's going to catch some college scouts. You know, it's going to keep them on their toes. Nick Sailor's here. His first big touchdown, Comets' big first play of the night. Another field goal from Sycamore. And then these next 2 plays, the screen pass to Nick Sailor's 41 yards, all the way for a touchdown. And then here it is, 67-yard touchdown run, my play of the game.
Nick
and at
Sailor's
the end,
really just taking full control.
This is we're going to kick off here in the 4th quarter. A squib kick, as Sycamore is going to fall on top of it, and we have one final update from Fairfield High School. At the end of regulation, it's a tie ball game, 24-24, the Indians and the Firebirds. And woo, I mean, we talked about a lot of big GMC matchups, but that might be the game of the year. So we'll make sure to keep you updated with that, as again the Comets play the Fairfield Indians next week. This would be a huge upset in the GMC.
And looking into next week, as he said, they do play Fairfield, a game where Mason will definitely need. And you have all this momentum, you're going to need it. And, you know, depending on the outcome of that game, regardless, both teams looking great. You just got to keep this momentum going.
Minute 44 left in the game, as that one just going to be a handoff to Dangerfield Montgomery. That time, tackle from Mason. It's going to be Ryan Davis. And we're starting to see some of those JV players checking into the game for the Comets. Ryan Davis, he's one of those key defenders on the Mason JV team.
Just a little over a minute left. I think we might just see Sycamore run out the rest of the clock.
As we near 60 seconds left in the game, another handoff. But a big burst of speed here.
He was one tackler away from taking that to the house, and you know that's something you're going to need going into next week. Just something to build off of. Montgomery, of course, coming back from what looked to be a bad injury, but turns out, thankfully, it wasn't.
Able to bounce back, and a dangerous play from Dangerfield Montgomery. And Daniel, I've been waiting to use that pun all night long. I'm glad I was able to do it here with just under a minute left in the game. Comets have the 38-13 lead. 40 seconds left in the game. That one going to be another handoff to Dangerfield Montgomery. But we talked about earlier, he has that breakaway speed, and you know his stats aren't going to be exuberant tonight because of that injury. He was limited, but he had himself a nice game.
He did, and showing a ton of aggression while running. It's something that, of course, the running back needs, but when you really see a running back showing that aggression, showing not afraid to just hit the gap and go, not waiting. That's what we've been seeing a lot from Montgomery tonight, especially this drive.
And the clock starting to wind down, under 10 seconds, as it looks like we're going to have a final here from Dwire Field at Atrium Stadium. It's all the Mason Comets in the second half. The final score, 38-13. Make sure you stay tuned next week, as here at ICRC-TV we will have the coverage from Mason versus Fairfield. It's a great game, a great atmosphere. It was homecoming night, and the Comets, they're going to be hoisting that Battle of the Skies trophy, the Battle of Mason Montgomery Road. The Comets come out victorious for the second straight year. I've been Adam Little, joined alongside my partner for tonight's broadcast, Daniel Panetti. Comets again, 38-13, at a beautiful Friday night here at Mason, Ohio, in a great atmosphere. We'll see you next week, Mason versus Fairfield.